Okay, cool. All right, is this thing on? Yeah, seriously, is this thing on? I don't know. Yep, it's on. All right, let me come up. All right, what is happening? What is going on? Happy New Year. Happy pre-New Year. Now, according to YouTube, this is supposed to be copy, no copyright, or copyright free music. I'm having it playing very low in the background. I'm not taking any chances. All right, let me see what we got here. And let me share my screen so I can have a little something that look a little festive, right? Right. Let's see, where is it? Is this it? Yeah, I think that's it. Yep, that's it. All right, that looks pretty nice. I like that. Yeah, so I have that as my partner in crime for right now while I go through a couple of topics, a couple of things I wanted to ramble off with. I always call it that. Let me see what I have on the list. What's going on, Don Teasy? Take it easy. Mr. DJ Music? All right. Tragic. Callie Jane, what is going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me for this New Year's Eve. Gray Regine, welcome, welcome. All right, so first thing I'm going to put up here, because I got a little invite. This is not one of my regular shows, so I don't consider this one like, straight content. So we go get into it. I got a invite for Chaos Rain. He loved them links, so I got the link for him tonight. Oh, yeah. And RBR, I know you're listening because I blocked you. Just letting you know, I haven't blocked you. I decided to unblock you. I'm going to give you a chance. And you know what the chance is. You cannot say Russian bot. Now, you can say the word bot by itself, but you can't put them two words together. I'm just letting you know. Can't say anything about hating anybody because they black. We don't do that over here. So that's kind of like all your vocabulary besides Obama. So I don't really know what to say after that, but those are the rules. I do not negotiate with terrorists. I'm giving you a chance. I'm letting you know what the rules are. You break them, you will be blocked for 2021. Again. Also, I want to thank you for sharing my stream. I do appreciate that. I appreciate when people donate, share their my streams. They hit the like button, give me some watch time. I appreciate that because time is valuable. You don't have to waste it. You don't have to use it with me, and I appreciate it. Don't think I don't. So I wanted to discuss that. It's my appreciation stream. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. Gray Regime, you've been rocking with me. I definitely appreciate you. So I'm going to let that, simmer right there for a little while and go on to the next topic. I will, I'm going to let that simmer right there. That's what we're going to do. Hey, Poetic Kales, welcome, welcome, welcome. Charger, welcome, welcome. Oh, yeah, Mr. DJ Music. He can just do that one thing and we'll be blocked again. Oh, yeah. Do not negotiate with terrorists. I'm sorry. I don't do that. I don't do that in my personal life. Sure not going to do it here. See, people don't think YouTube is actually a business, and it actually is. They want to play. Sorry. Go back to the playground if you want to play. We don't play here. Now in Chicago, I don't know what's going on in the other cities, but I did want to state that we do have a lot of car thefts and jackings. I don't know what's going on. It just happened. They started doing it recently. A lot, so much where the alderman is talking about it. It is really bad. They're just stealing parked cars. They're jacking delivery people because, a lot of people at home now, so they're doing their Uber Eats and Lyft and all these different things. So if you got, food delivery, they're robbing those people because more than likely they have cash. They're doing the same thing. They're trying with the Uber drivers and the Lyft drivers, and it's terrible. We just had something downtown. We're talking downtown Chicago. Now, it was 5 o'clock in the morning, but still, man walking down the street and they got into a little scuffle. The guy got into a car and drove off. I don't know what that was about. I never heard any details about it, but people are doing that. And then I'll share with you what I experienced Saturday. And DJ Music, I already promised you that I won't do it again. So I like to go out early. I went to the store, came back home, and it's 11 a.m. A.m. now. And I'm crossing the street, getting ready to go to my apartment building, and I see two guys running. But what made me notice it was when I heard the guy say, "Stop." So I looked at the first person, which was the young kid, maybe about 15 or so. He was in front running, and the man behind him, in his 40s, maybe 50, he's running behind him. But what made me notice him more than anything, besides him being the one that yelled stop, was the gun that he was carrying. And I knew he was a professional the way he held the gun. So I looked, I'm like, okay, so I wasn't afraid. I glanced back at the young man. I was timing how long it would take for them to get, near me. So I made the decision to get off to the side and get down on my knees in a ball because I didn't want to be flat, but I wanted to be able to spring if I need to. I'm like, if I need to spring into action, hey, I need to be able to do that. So that's what I did. And I just watched the young man run across the street. And by being early Saturday, there was no traffic. So he was able to just run on off into the sunset, I guess. And so the guy, he got near where I was, and he wasn't really breathing hard or anything. He wasn't really winded, and he apologized to me. So I apologize, miss. I didn't mean to scare you. And I told him, I said, you didn't scare me. And he had put the gun away by that time. And he had told me that, he hadn't really felt that type of adrenaline since he was in Iraq. And he explained to me what happened, that the young man had got a brick and he was about to burst out a window for this car. Now, anyone knows Saturday was the day after Christmas. So, more than likely, someone had some things in their car on the seat. And that's always a no no. You do not do that because people will do that. They will break your window just to get something off the seat, no matter how small or large it is. So, he was able to stop that. And I'm like, okay. So I listened to him a little bit. And then I went on in the house, fixed my coffee, had my breakfast. And the police was called. He gave a statement and everything. And I would say it could have been Sunday, but I know by Monday they had issued an announcement of, be careful about the carjackings and everything. And then the alderman had released something as well. Poetic Kales, if I did not say your name, Happy New Year. Welcome. Vonda H., welcome. Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to ramble for a little bit, have a little, because I have a list of little things I want to go through, and then I'll drop the link. You guys can join in. Okay, so that's my experience from that. That was a very interesting end of the year site. And let's see, PayPal. PayPal, if you notice, you'll start getting a lot of emails, and they're really phishing, trying to get you to click on that link, telling you your account is suspended. I don't, I don't know how many people they're getting, but they're doing it quite often because I get an email at least once a week with that same energy saying, "Hey, account." They don't say account number; they'll say suspension number 257 or whatever. Your account is suspended. Click here. I'm like, okay, I'm not falling for that. But you guys, please be careful when it comes down to these phishing emails, these links when they tell you something is suspended. They're doing that a lot with Amazon. Um, but PayPal is really their baby. That one and Apple. They love those two. So please be careful. And last Saturday, when I did the article reaction, I put the link in the chat room that they were giving $5 for downloading the PayPal app. I hope you guys took advantage of that. When I checked, I had my $5. I checked Tuesday, and I had it Tuesday, and I got an email Wednesday telling me that they applied the $5 to the account. So, hope you taken advantage of that. And as I learn things that can give you a few dollars in your pocket, save you some money, I will share that. That's important to me. That's something I can give to people because I don't have, a lot of money or anything, but at least I can give some type of knowledge and information. If that can help better you, then my job is done. I'm happy. And let's see. Speaking of the economy and money, Panera Bread and Corner Bakery, they are continuing to offer 3 months free of coffee. They're really pushing that. They are really pushing it. They're trying to get people to get up in there. Their hours are shorter now and everything. So these businesses are hurting. Greetings, Joe Whitfield. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. Thank you for your watch time, your views, your likes. I appreciate that. And let's see. So if you want to take advantage of it, do so. Just remember to cancel before the 90 days is out because they will charge your credit card. And what else I have here? Changes in 2020. There's going to be, and there has been a lot of changes since the pandemic. You know, we all experienced it some kind of way, whether our employment, um, the loss of, um, or having to work from home or changing jobs. There has been some type of effect on everyone because of this pandemic. And it's, I think for the next year, we're really going to see even more. So if you have something, be grateful because a lot of people do not. I joke a lot about not having a pension when I talk about jobs and stuff. But just think about a lot of people that do qualify for it. They're going to find a way not to give it to people because these states are hurting. And the state of Illinois itself is just, I don't really know what's going on with Illinois. I know they're in the billions when it comes down to a deficit when it comes down to the pensions. So it's continuing to get worse, of course. Now I know they want to open up the schools. They're going to start off with the small children first, and then February they want to start off with the grades like I think 1 through 8, something like that. They're going to try, but there's a lot of parents that are not going to send their children back. They're going to we're going to wait out. We're going to wait until the next term and see what's going on. Because just because they're saying they have a vaccine, what does that really mean? There was no time to really check this vaccine out to do any type of study. Not really. And we've been seeing a lot of stuff out there as far as people fainting and pretending to get the vaccination and all kind of stuff. So, you have to use your judgment on that and decide what you're going to do. That's up to you. Um, Working at home, that can take a toll on your psyche. We have people that have children. They're trying to get their children, set up for homeschool and get them to pay attention what they need to do while the parents go ahead and, do their thing. And it's not the easiest thing to do. It's hard to kind of separate it, really. And then as far as the connectivity issues, oh my goodness. I don't even know what more to say about that one. And my coworker, I know you're in the clouds listening, that connectivity is ridiculous. You talking about the customers frustrated. We're more frustrated than the customers. But this is the hand that we've been dealt. If you want to work and you're able to, a lot of people have to work at home. They have to work from home. It is what it is. Not a lot that we could do, but do what we can so we can feed ourselves and our family. And also with the changes besides the pandemic, what we got? I've seen from Republican to Democrats, from dine in to take out to a hijab to avatar. I mean, 2020 has been something else. I know you guys are ready for the next year. Depends on where you are. You're already there. Some of you in 10 minutes be your new year. For me, it's an hour and 10 minutes. But Hope you got something planned for 2021. Self-improvement. It just goes back to you, to self. That's just the bottom line. And a lot of people try to get out of that, but you can't. Can't do that. It's you have to make a change. You have to. You don't change, you don't nothing changes. If you waiting for change, you just be waiting. You're putting the responsibility on everyone else. And why would you do that? You know? Why would you? Okay, I've had this up, I know, for a good 15 minutes. And I'll drop the link and because I know Chaos, he'll just linger. He won't type in the chat room. So when I drop the link, you can come on up. That's all good. I kind of went past my defer. They are offering credit card help again. So for the new year, if you can defer, do so. Take advantage of that. Save your cash, uh, pay the bills for something else that you need, whatever. Because, okay, it's wintertime. People have to pay for heat. That's going to go up. So you're going to need more money. You may not be earning more money. So that'll give you a little cushion. So think about doing that one. Defer. What else I got here? Told you about the employment. Oh Lord, I haven't even I'm just a small channel, but I need somebody to work for me. I suppose I had been had this going. What was I thinking? I guess I wasn't. Yeah, I don't multitask as well as I used to, but I try. I do try. I really do. Let's see. I got a couple of people. I'm going to buy you a drink. Go back to the chat room, see who I see in here. Let's see. Let's see what we going to do here. How do I do this? I pushed the wrong button. There we go. We start off with the amount. All right. Gonna buy you a drink. My hands are so they're a little dry. My poor phone don't even recognize my fingerprint. They're like, who are you? Who are you, lady? They didn't even believe me. It didn't even believe my my fingerprint. They're like, I don't know who you are, who you playing with, lady. Let's see here. Gonna buy you a drink. Yeah, forgive me here, because as far as me trying to continue to talk and do this at the same time, I can't promise it's gonna work out. So what I do is I take my time. Oops, I didn't put the, uh-oh. Well, Lady Neek, you know why. I didn't get a chance to type it in there. My bad. Please forgive me. But that's what it's for. Gonna buy you a drink. Mm-hmm. Let's see here. Uh-oh. A drink don't cost that much. How do I cancel this out? Help me, somebody. Oh, There's a back button. I knew that. I was just kidding. Okay, gives me suggestions. Where is if you donated to me, you should be in here already, so why don't I see it? I don't know what's up with that. Oh, there it is. You know, it's the government name. That's why it didn't come up. My bad. I knew that. Okay, let me talk a little bit more so I don't have dead silence. That's one thing we're not supposed to do is have silence. And then I went silent as soon as I said it. Hey, who did I see? Zero, my hero. What's going on with you? I hope everything is working out over in Tennessee. I have not checked the news. So much been going on. Um, I was worried about you. I looked for you, couldn't find you. I'm like, okay, where he at? What's happening with him? What's going on? Let me pull up my next topic before I get into my YouTube history. Um, Tyrese. You know, I'm not really into the celebrity thing because I don't know these people. But the only reason I'm mentioning this is because I my history in my time with YouTube, I remember people were just really complaining about this man marrying a woman that did not look black. And I'm modding for people just trying to figure out, well, what's the whole big deal? I mean, what's this all about? Chances of you being in this man's circle and him picking you is so slim to none that why are we talking about this? And I just looked, I couldn't understand it. And that was 3 years ago. Just 3 years ago. That's it. That's it. And see what's happening? Can you imagine? 3 years ago. Money, fame, all of that. And the talk in the street about black women not being submissive and all that. And the woman was young, no children and all of that, and it didn't work out. So because of the way a person look and their age and all of that, it doesn't mean that it will work out. People are people. We have two different individuals that have different backgrounds, likes, dislikes, issues. So looking at a person's status, it means nothing. You got to deal with the person. You literally have to deal with the individual and try to make it work, as well as making a change. Because sometimes you need the change. Sometimes you do. It has nothing to do with the other person. Sometimes, and I always just wonder why people all caught up on these celebrities. Why? What did it mean in the end? 3 years later, the same people I saw while I was modding these channels crying about some celebrity they never met in their life. Probably never been to the man's concert, only bought his CD, saw his movies, that was it. That was it. And they had a big old fit, big old stir for I think about a month. I think that conversation went on for a good month. Isn't that crazy? But it happened. I was a witness to it. Okay, it is almost well, now it's midnight. And I heard some firecrackers and everything. I'm like, Now, why are we as a people early when it comes down to the celebration but when we need to get to an appointment, we be late? What's up with that? I'm just saying, I just noticed it. I'm just saying. Gonna buy you a drink. That's right, Shadra. Why it makes sense, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I should try harder not to, right? Is that it? Okay. I'll try harder not to. But it's just a question. And I noticed that and I just was wondering why. 3 years later, do you know the man announced publicly that he actually getting a divorce on his birthday? The man's birthday was Wednesday, and that's what he announced it. What a 2020 for him, huh? Got to be more careful. So that's why I don't buy into the rhetoric of all these talking points, because you have to look at self. That's what it's all about. It's about self. So, I don't care what your statistics are, all of that. If you haven't tried and you're not a part of fixing anything, then it really doesn't matter. And a lot of times, too, when you hear people talk, if they haven't lived with someone, and I mean live with someone, I mean they get the mail there, they wake up 365 days next to that person. Smell the bad breath when they go to washroom, wash their clothes, see them when they're not at their best. You know, did you really have a relationship? Do you really know about those things? Hmm. Inquiring minds want to know. Yeah, yeah. Gonna buy you a drink. Let's see. I got a couple more people I'm looking for in the chat room. Gonna buy you a drink. What you sipping on? I have some champagne over here. Let me say happy birthday. Oh, Lord have mercy. Happy New Year to those that has the Eastern time. Happy New Year to you. It's probably loud over there. Your dogs are barking and hiding because they don't know what's going on. That's probably what's going on over there. I know it is. Zero, you missed it. I had this up here. Chaos, he loved them links. I got a link for him tonight. It's gonna be me and him. And don't be too frightened about that RBR invite. I'm just letting RBR know that I unblocked him. Because I want to just test to see if he's gonna mention his keywords, which, ever since we've known him, he's always used his Russian bot and Obama and you hate yourself because you're black and all of that. And those are a no-no. So I'm giving him a chance for 2021. I felt a little generous. I said, well, let me see if I can, you know, work with the dude. Let's just see. Because I also let you know, RBR, if you're listening, I actually saw you in a couple of chat rooms lately. That's what made me have the idea of unblocking you, because you said some things that made some sense and you did not use those keywords that will get you blocked over here again. So I said, let me give brother a chance and we'll see. Anybody want to bet he's not going to make it? I don't know. Some people may grow up, they get better. They improve. Not everybody, but there There are people that do. All right, let me see what else I had to say that I have written before I go into my history of YouTube. Um, let's see, I did Tyrese. Oh, and then I did thank people for their time because I do understand how valuable it is. It's it's valuable. That's all I can say. Use it because once you lose it, it's gone. You can't not, and I do repeat, you cannot get it back. So please use your time wisely. Think about it. What, just March of this year, the life of everyone had changed. Things were closed up, people confused, like what we gonna do? The job is closed. What? The school is closed. During this time, we could have been doing some self-development, learning some things, not just twerking in chat rooms day in and day out, you know, which goes into what I've will say about YouTube. When I came here 5 years ago, and I found that YouTube actually started with a purpose, and now it's just a circus. I don't know how many of you guys been around for that long, and this is before an actual chat room when we just had it recorded videos, you know? So I don't know. It's kind of sad to me. It's really sad to me to see some of the same people in the same position, to see new people following bad traditions. And these are the people that's going to be out in the world with your children, around your parents and grandparents and all that. And I don't know. It makes me a little frightened because I've always found men, especially in my family and community, to have purpose, to be driven by it. You know, that's what I've found. And it's sad for me to see no progress because, again, when I started, I was supporting someone that, and the guys, period. I support a lot of guys that was saying, hey, it's unfair. We don't have a voice. We, the laws are against us. We don't get our fair share. We need our voice. We need to speak about this. We need to do something. And that made sense to me. And that's why I got behind so many of the guys. Because, sometimes that's all it takes for a man to be encouraged is to have someone behind them, you know? Sometimes that's all it takes. And I had the time at the time, and that's what I did. I volunteered my time to a lot of these channels, you know? And again, as I said, this was before live streaming. That did not exist when I came on the scene. We're talking blog talk radio. That's what we're talking way back. And then we had live streaming. That became a thing. And I was there to see that. And then they incorporated super chat eventually. you know? And I don't know, I just seen a lot of things. I've seen channels come and go. I've seen a lot of infighting, people not getting along, a lot of popularity contests, you know. My dog is bigger than your dog. My dog barks louder than your dog. And the purpose was lost. I can truly say in the last 3 years, I don't know what happened. Now I actually see a circus, a zoo, and it saddens me. It really saddens me. What happened to the purpose? I don't know. I really don't know. But that's where we are, you know. And I end up hosting BGS for Women's channel for a couple of years. He retired that a year ago, and I was asked by Zero to do the women's channel for the Neil sector, and there was not enough support, so I had to retire the channel. And I said, okay, well, let me go ahead and do mine. I was encouraged to do so because I was uploading at the time because I was getting the letters in, and I'm not getting the letters in like I used to in the beginning. I guess that's like anything. When it first starts, it's all shiny and new. Let me send a letter in. But I've proven that I will not reveal your identity if you write in. I'm not one to make fun of you. I don't care about all of that. You have a problem. If I know a solution, I'll give that to you. And I give you some ideas, some things to think about. Because I honestly believe that if you have a problem, something inside of you, something in you can pull out that answer. You just have to look around for it. And sometimes you're not able to do that. Someone else have to do that for you. And that's what this channel is about. Is solving problems, discussing them. And the panel part of it is where you get more than one voice. Because I answer the letter with my ideas and suggestions. And then for the panel, I play just the letter part where I read that. And then, you know, people have their opinion, their different experiences. And not only did the person that wrote in can hear that, other people that may be going through that same thing or even know someone, they can spread that information because it's not, any bad information. And also when it comes down to opinions, that's what I always say, it's opinion. What works for me may not work for you. And that's fine. But if you have a problem you really want it solved, hey, let's solve it. It goes back to that self-reflection. Hello, Queen of the South. How you doing? Thank you so much for subscribing. I met you over on Lady Mocha's channel today. Thank you so much for subscribing and for tuning in. I appreciate it. And we have to look at ourselves. I'm hoping people will look at themselves for 2021 for some answers because it's going to get tough. These businesses, they're hurting. I'm pretty sure if any of you guys have gone out to just a local place where you would go shopping, some of those places are gone. They're closed up, and they had nothing to do with the liberation when with George Floyd. It has nothing to do with that. That's because these people don't have any money because they don't have any customers. And I even had a woman on my channel, a small business owner. She had 2 hair salons. She had to give one of them up. She could not do both of them. Her clients weren't there. You gotta think, people was fearful when it first happened. That was number 1. So you had the fear, and then people have lost jobs. They don't have the income. My opinion about that is, this year, people should have came up with a lot of ideas to save money, and let me explain what I mean by that. If you went to get your nails done, this was the time to learn how to do them yourself. You had plenty of time because you're in the house. Your hair, same thing. This was the time to learn how to do it yourself. You're not going out as much. Why would you be buying clothes all the time? No one sees you. You're not going anywhere. Why would you do that? So this was the time to save some money and do things yourself, which turns into saving money. Oh, yeah. I think that would have been a great idea if people would have done so. I don't know how many people have done that, but I've seen a couple of channels that I frequent, and they talked about that because I do watch some of the hair channels. Because when my hairdresser had passed away a couple of years ago, I went natural. I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. So it's a lot of good information out there. And back to the topic on the screen. It started with a purpose. Now it's just a circus. You all can agree to that. Those that have been around for a little while. All you need is really just 2 years of YouTube, because we all share the same audience. Literally, we do. And that's the other thing, is it's kind of hard to break from this sector because Google, they're in charge, everyone, not you. Google puts your stuff in a certain area. That's just it. When they do, you're going to go into those algorithms. You're going to be seen over here, suggested over there. Depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about tech stuff, you will be in a different area. You talk about a whole lot of he say, she say, and all those type of things, you're going to be lumped over, in a particular place. I'm happy that my audience is not just what a lot of other people's audience is, because I actually run it like a business. Also, interesting this year, because I met on my, well, same thing. Now that I'm doing some radio things now because of relationships, in the 5 years of YouTube, I'm doing radio now. And that's going to expand. I'm looking forward to that, where we're going to take that to. Keep the Beat has been very interesting. And we have a lot of different countries listening to us. Shout out to Classic Ruby, everybody. Now I have to say it that way. Now I can't even just say Classic Ruby. I got to say Classic Ruby, everybody. For whatever reason, it's just in my mind now. But yeah, I don't know. It's been very interesting. Um, Now, as far as with the channel, I had a one-on-one scheduled for 2020 that didn't work out. And I know why it didn't work out. Um, Trust me, when I say the answer is inside of you, I pull it out. I ask you the right questions so you can think. I don't ask questions for no reason. I want you to think. And so that didn't work out. I have another one for now for 2021. I'm looking forward to that because that would actually be my first one-on-one. Um, and I wanted to know how to protect people because I'm not into plastering people on the screen to talk about them and all that kind of stuff. I don't like that. I've seen too much of that happen in this sector of YouTube. It's just, I don't like that at all. All that for likes, views, and super chats. And I'm gonna tell you, when it comes down to those super chats, Google is gonna be on something. They're already on something. But people gonna think they're going to be able to do the same thing and get the same results. Oh no. Google got something for you. Oh yeah. They got something for you. Just be you. How are you? Nice to see you. Happy New Year to you. But yeah, I want you to know Google is not gonna play with you. You're gonna keep doing the same thing, you're gonna get a different result. I'm gonna tell you. You're gonna like, oh, I'm gonna talk about this. I mean, when you gotta talk coded, you know there's a difference. They're not playing with you. I remember saying when I was hosting on BGS for Women's channel that all you need is a smartphone and you are a content creator when it came down to Google because they opened it up that way. At first, you had to have a computer. And then when they open it up to you being able to do it with a smartphone, oh my goodness, thousands and thousands of channels of nonsense. And I do mean nonsense. People just get on the channel and just twirl their hair. They can't sleep, they go live. Got nothing else to do, they just go live. What you doing? What you doing? Nothing. Sitting just looking there, twisting their hair. Uh um so and that's it. And that's content. And there's so many people started doing that. So I'm telling you, it's been real interesting these 5 years. And when I drop the link, we could talk about it. You can ask me questions. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot. And people don't, look at YouTube as a business, is which is was created for. It was. So sad, just so sad. But it is what it is. Let me see what I got here. Let me find my link. Let me find my link. Da, 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 da. Just be you. You tickle me with your content. I like your little short videos. They'd be so funny. I really enjoy it. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. There you go. So you can grab that link, Chaos, because I know you're in the clouds. You're always searching out links. You got a bell that goes off when when a link is dropped. There's a bell that goes, yeah, and you right there to grab it. Oh yeah, you grab that link so we could talk about it. Oh yeah, we're gonna have that discussion. Yes, we will. But I have dropped a link if you want to come up. I've done my the most I want to say. Now we could just have a discussion. But yeah, I've seen a lot. Started off in Blog Talk. And it's interesting, starting off in radio and back into radio. And also which I did mention to DJ Music that I'm going to, because I like blues. My parents used to play blues, and I was a young kid that enjoyed blues. But I like the old stuff. I like the Tyrone Davis and Bobby Blue Bland. I like all that old stuff. And I'm willing to do a show um, for that. Oh, Poetic Kales, the link is for everybody, but it's especially for Chaos because he never seen a link that he didn't like. But I had said I was going to do a blues shows, but there is some software and stuff I need, and I'm like, I can't foot that. I'm just not able to afford that. So I'm gonna start a GoFundMe. However, I'm going to do that and find out the equipment I need and start doing that. So just think, I got On the Beat, which we're talking about news and different things. I got that going. Then Keep the Beat, where we're talking about music, and then I'll have a blues show. Yes, I am in Chicago. So maybe that's why I like blues. I don't know. But I really like it because my parents used to play it and I used to just really enjoy it. I really did, so couldn't help myself. Um but that is interesting with radio. I like it. I like it. DJ Music has a show on Sundays, the Backyard Barbecue, and it's really cool. You hear a lot of music that you don't hear nowadays because I want to hear more than just the general rap songs. How long does it take to write a rap song? What, 5 minutes? Let's see if I can do it even faster. Let's see. All you got to do is talk about a car, talk about your rims, talk about your stacks of money, and oh, you got to talk about the women. Okay, so that's the key things of writing a rap song. Oh, and in the jet plane, you got to add a jet in there because hey, you got to have a jet. Let me see, jet. All right, you want to help me zero write this rap song right quick?
What type of rap song you trying to write, Shaw?
Uh, I got the key components. You got to add a car, rims, stack,
Okay.
women, and a jet. That's all you need. That's it.
Oh yeah,
And
you don't get drugs. You know, you gotta have drugs and some kind of crime going on. You know.
well, no, you got to take that out. Now it's about the drink,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Got to be Ciroc. Got to be. Well, it is a drug if you think about those mollies and all that stuff. So I guess so.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's all you need. I got that molly on the jet with these women on my lap. I got stacks and stacks and stacks. I got rims with the slim. And then that's the end of the song. Put a nice beat to it. There you go. That's all. You don't need
Or you can mumble it. You know, mumble it. You know, it be a hit. You know, you ain't got to form words anymore. All you gotta do is just mumble. You know, add that like who, hi,
oh yeah. And then you got
yeah,
it.
yeah, just yeah,
That's all it takes.
yeah. That's it.
Uh-oh. I like that jam music. I got the
Oh,
plane
plane
ticket.
tickets,
I got the plane
plane
tickets.
tickets. Oh my goodness.
That's a hit.
Yeah, that was it.
That's all you need.
Yeah, I'm glad you got me on that song. I would have never known about that song. You tell me.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Yeah.
That's all you need. hmm You don't need much more than that.
Yeah.
How would you like to weigh on the purpose? Well, start off as a purpose and now it's just a circus.
Well, I think you said probably most of what I was doing. say anyway. I mean, just it's like can't you like say I came in like came in thinking it was gonna be one way, and then I think towards the end of then I think last year he just went out of control, and now it's just snowballing down.
Mm. It happened before that, cause see, like I said, I come from a generation where I seen men actually do things, so I'm not used to
Yeah,
men just talking. I'm not That's new to me. That's the new thing. I don't know anything about that. So,
yeah,
that's brand new.
yeah. I mean, most I've seen it just happen on YouTube, really. Because like my real life, I don't really see a lot of dudes acting like the dudes that you mentioned on YouTube. So
Yeah, these are the type of things I see or have seen and witnessed. Cause like I said, I was always in the back and I don't have anything to say. I can always support and not say anything. I don't argue with people. I don't know. I don't believe in arguments because everyone has their view. If
right,
let's say for an example that the conversation is about getting high and you like, well, I like getting high. It's my money. I can spend my money. I'm like, you are correct. Only because you mentioned to me that you found yourself not having friends and not having a place to stay that you may want to get some help. But if you're in control and that's what you want to do, then you continue. That's it. I'm done. And nothing else I could do. That person doesn't want help. They just wanted to talk about it. But there's certain things that you're not going to be able to talk to me about, and because my brain just automatically try to solve the problem. I don't
right.
even try. It just start working and doing stuff, and it is what it is.
You were supposed to listen. Well, I couldn't help. My brain just did something else.
It did, because that's another thing. I don't like whining. That's the other thing. If there's a problem, why don't you solve it? And I don't know if it's because of my dad. My dad has always had been one to, he's a man. He solved problems. So I guess I just like that about him or love that about him. And I just did the same thing. A lot of girls want to be like their dads. I know men do, boys do, but I just loved how my dad functioned, and it was what it was.
Yeah, that's what I said. But I don't like whining either.
Yeah, that whining doesn't work for me. I need some solutions, and a lot of people don't want that. And I've said in the workplace, and that's why I used to always I still do get pushback in the workplace because you don't have a meeting and say, anyone have any ideas how to make things work a little bit better? And then you give the ideas and all your coworkers agree because it would make life better. And then they tell you, okay, we're going to look into that. And nothing happens. Well, I'm not one to just let it, die down. I'm going to check back on it. That idea that I was telling you that would really help us, you never got back to me or anyone else about that. What's going on? Oh, we'll see. Jabba, 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 which means you just said that just to be saying it. You're not going to make any changes. You had no intentions to make any changes. And it's just a bunch of malarkey. And I do not like that. We're
also,
the
also,
ones that's
so
doing the work. Go
also,
ahead.
BS the language now. I didn't know that.
Yeah, we're doing the work. Wouldn't you think the person that's doing the work have some type of idea how to make it a little bit easier or
Right.
better,
Yeah.
more productive?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like the same kind of response I get when someone wants to argue me or something, and I tell them the facts, and I say, "Hey, just look it up for yourself." And then it's like, okay, I will, and then I come back, and they still want to argue about the same thing. So then you look it up. No, I ain't look it up, and then like the only way they gonna look at it is put in front of their face. I'm just like, okay, okay.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. Happy New Year, Ruby. Hello
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy New Year, Ruby.
But yeah, I don't know. Problem solving just has always been my thing. And like I said, coming into the space, um, I support it. When I saw something that could help out, I'll suggest something. Um, and that's just all. I've always taken a supportive role in, you know, just about everything in life. That's just something I enjoy doing because, again, helps solving a problem. So I just I don't get how a lot of this stuff functions when it comes to the companies and stuff like that. And I used to say that if I have a company, I'm just not going to play around. Because I know I mentioned this story before, and I'll mention it again for those who've not heard it. That we used to have a lady at work, and she used to use the phone all the time. And what they caught herself doing, instead of just going straight to her and like, "Look here, sister, you're on the phone too much. You're supposed to be working. Limit your calls." That's real simple, but they wouldn't do that. So they called themselves having a book where with the book you can use you write down the phone number and the time that you actually use the phone. So when I saw they did that, I'm like, that's ridiculous because it's only one person. Why are they doing all of this? So they did it. And what happened? Nothing. Absolutely another person continued to do what they were doing. And then, we used to have, I think, a monthly meeting. And this just happened month after month. And then they would just mention, oh, well, you guys, we're getting complaints about the phone. And I just wanted to say, is it just me or you all don't see us, Lisa over there? Lisa's the same person that uses the phone all the time. She walks past your desk to use the phone. You don't see her? I see her, but wasn't my place. But that's what I wanted to say.
I thought you actually said that.
That's what I wanted to say, but I did not. And I always said, if I have my company, I'm just going to be straightforward with the person because I don't get it. Do you want to solve the problem or just dance around it? Why are we going to keep talking about it? I just don't get that.
Yeah, I don't get it either. I mean, it's just like you see these activists. They want to protest. They want to talk about it, but then when it comes like putting like solutions that would actually get them the results that they want, they don't want to do it. They rather just march around and protest and yell because it's easier and not do the real hard work. Because like in the civil rights movement, they weren't just protesting. They had people working in Congress. They had lawyers, you know, making sure everything was straight with them. They had like a whole network. They just weren't sitting around doing nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't get all that. It's about action.
Yeah.
You have to do something for yourself. Let me check my connection here. Oh, it didn't say anything. I'm sorry, Poetic Chaos. I sure it didn't say anything. It didn't beep or anything. And I had people sitting back here. I'm so sorry. I dropped the link again. I'm so
Oh, well.
sorry. Forgive me. Wow. I don't know what happened here. Greetings. Welcome. Welcome to the show, to the New Year's Eve edition. Welcome.
What up? What
Greet,
up?
greetings and happy new year to everybody.
How you doing,
Well,
brother?
How you doing, Zero? Good to see you. Good to see you. Big shout out.
Man.
Let me clear my throat there. I should have drunk me a little tea before I got up on the stage. A little hoarse today. Excuse me, y'all. But Char, I just want to say big shout out to you and Ruby for all the hard work you ladies put in this year on the beat and keep the beat. Great pack of shows that we did, and looking forward to doing it again next year. I'm waiting for what's the show you plan on doing? The blues show.
Blues.
I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on it. I got you covered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I enjoy the blues, but see, the other thing is I'll be that strange DJ because I like to be a talking DJ. And I patterned that from the guy I used to watch when I was younger called Purvis Spann. He used to talk on the radio. So he would interrupt a song and do some talking while playing a song. I don't know why I enjoyed that. I got a big kick out of it because my mom hated it. And it just made me laugh. I don't know
Yeah.
why. She just didn't like that. I thought it was cool, and I kind of want to pattern my show like that from him.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I don't do much talking over the music, but there are some DJs out there that that do that style, and for me, that's pretty good. Especially when you got a good conversation to go along with the music. Can't beat that kind of show.
Yeah,
And Point Man does that a little bit too on the show that he does over at the station. He talks over the music a little bit, so it's definitely entertaining. That's for sure. But
yeah.
I'm gonna work on y'all with that new hit single we got coming out. Got them plane tickets. We gonna work on that.
Okay,
Got them
sound like a
plane
plan.
tickets. Got them plane tickets.
Okay, as an instant hit,
it's,
instant YouTube hit.
it's new for 2020-21.
Hmm. Instant hit. Don't know
Well,
nothing about that.
again, I just wanted to jump up here right quick, and say thank you again, you and Ruby, for all the hard work that you did making the two shows go over with a huge success. Like you said, much respect from the folks out there that listen to us. All the different countries. They are uncountable, really. So, really do
Yeah,
appreciate it, and looking forward to next year.
cool. Thank you so much.
All right. I'm gonna go back in the clouds now because chaos might come up here.
Yeah, I think he's afraid because he got all this attention. He would have been here. We know that.
He ain't got them plane tickets.
Oh, I'm about to send him some.
All right, y'all enjoy yourself. I'll be down in the clouds.
All right, thank
All
you.
All right.
right.
Yeah, I gave the link to Chaos. He don't even want it. Ain't that something? I think that's how it is when you give somebody something that way. They don't want it. They want to just get it when you don't want to give it to them. I think that's what it is. Yeah, that's it.
Might be.
But no worries. I'm gonna have to check the back check because I don't know why it didn't pop up. I didn't hear anything. I'm like, ooh, somebody in the back. I didn't know.
I wish RER covered that because I would be laughing at the questions you just asked when you could be asking all kind of questions.
Yeah, I've never had a conversation with him. He's always come in some chat room that I was modding and had the same rhetoric, and I would ask the content creator, was this a problem? Because in my opinion, it was a problem. You're taking away from the conversation, but it seemed like a lot of people like that. So okay.
I think I might have had one conversation with him, but like I was able to have a conversation before. And when I left right before it went left, and I mean it was just crazy the timing. I was like, as soon as I got off, that's like when he went into RVR mode, and I was like, oh, I said I got out right in time.
Oh boy.
But
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about.
but I mean, why didn't it sound like he made sense? I was like, oh, I mean, I even told him. I was laughing about the time like where he said that the reason why Donald Trump with North Korea is so he can buy nuclear bombs so he can blow up black people. I died laughing when
Oh
I heard
my goodness. Wow.
I was, I told him, I was like, yeah. I said, yes, I found it funny.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it to too long with that.
Oh no, he ain't gonna make it.
No, well, I'm giving him a chance. He's unblocked, so we'll see. We'll see. I
Yeah,
appreciate the share and the attention. I appreciate that, but no, I'm just not gonna have that. I mean,
yeah,
today is the only day I'm opening up where it's not a actual show, um, you know, type of show.
right,
But yeah, when I'm in show mode, it's about business. It's about a purpose. I'm not gonna be having 10-hour streams talking about the girls and all that kind of stuff. I'm not doing it. Or the boys that either. So
I was trying to get like how somebody had like a 10-hour stream talk, but I'm like thinking, aren't y'all tired of talking? I'm tired, but
nope.
I, I,
That's why
I
I say
mean,
time is important and you gotta be careful how you use it because once it's gone, it's gone.
right,
And this was the time during this pandemic to learn a lot of things, because it was a way of saving money. A lot of people could not go get those nails done and all of that, and hair done.
yeah,
That was the time.
yeah, that's absolutely true. Yeah, people had to start trying to figure out ways to get certain stuff done.
Because I remember last year I had went to get my hair trimmed, and I felt some kind of way for what I paid. I really felt some kind of way about it, and I'm like, I'm not doing that again. And that was before the pandemic. I said, "Oh, I'm not doing this again," and have not done it since. I'm like, "Nope, I'm sorry." I went and got me a set of nice clippers with the guards and everything. I'm like, "Oh, we're gonna be doing some stuff ourselves. His hair to grow back." The way I look at it.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm not playing. I've trimmed my hair sideways, lopped way, and all kind of stuff. But like I said, it'll grow back. I it takes practice. I look at the hair videos. I'm like, how she do that? Okay, let me try that. Oh, that was too much on the left. Oh well, it'll grow back. That's the way
Yeah,
I look at it.
yeah. Like I told you before, I don't think. Yeah. I don't think you and Shane have ever met each other.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. I don't know nothing about shame. Hey, Jay Shine, welcome. Happy New Year to you.
Hey, brother.
But yeah, I don't care nothing about that. You have to be feel some kind of way for yourself. If you don't have confidence in yourself, then people can shame you. They really can. You can be, feel some kind of way. I'm in touch with myself. I know if I'm don't do certain things well, it is what it is. So now what? Are you going to help me? Because I had a conversation with a supervisor one time, and they asked me something. It was I'm trying to think. It was just right before my review, or I forgot when it was. And he asked me whatever the question he asked me, and I didn't know the answer. I should have known the answer, but at that time I had drawn a blank. So they asked me the question. I'm like, I don't know right now. And I think that's exactly how I answer. I don't know right now. I just drew a blank. And so he asked me, says, "So you don't know such and such?" I said, "No." "So are you going to give me the answer or what?" And that's exactly what I said to him. I don't know the answer. There's a lot of things I should know. I don't know. So what are we going to talk about? The fact that I don't know when you ask me, I forgot, I should know because of what reason. So I just need to know what the purpose is. And that's why I've always looked at a lot of things. What is the purpose? That's always been important to me. What is the purpose?
Yeah, yeah. Them supervisors be tripped, especially my supervisor. He just boy, I never seen such a feminine acting supervisor in my whole life. Like you come in, come in late, like he always does the black people. He's like, you come in, talk, what happened? Why you late? And I'm like, even just like a minute. And sometimes he ain't gotta be late. He be like, oh, what happened? Like, like you late. I'm on time. What you talking about?
Mm.
And I remember like the last time, like I think I didn't come into work, but it was because like the people I ride with didn't tell me that they were weren't gonna come get me or something like that. So I didn't have no time to prepare to get another ride and go out there. So I just stayed home. And I came next day and I told him what happened. And you want to try to take me to the office? Like, okay, fine, And then went to the office. He tried to lie like he usually do and try to lie to the HR. And then once I explained to him what happened, I told him, like I said, well, he asked, did you call a supervisor? I said, I couldn't because I didn't have his number. He didn't give it to me. I asked him 3 times when I first started working here. He never gave it to me. So then after that, he was like, he told him, hey, you gotta give your number. You gotta let them, they gotta know, they gotta be able to call you. So after that, he just felt defeated and said, just go to work.
Mm. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, ladies, to the panel. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Happy New Year to
What's
you.
up, everybody?
Hey Shar, hey Poetic, hey Ruby, hey Zero. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy
Hey,
New
Ronnie.
Year.
Happy
Gonna,
New Year, y'all! And
Happy New Year,
I did hear
hey.
it.
Char.
I heard it. Classic Ruby,
Zero,
everybody. Classic Ruby, everybody. You're right. And I hope that continues in 2021.
Vonda, and Rue.
Cal, Vonda, Zero, my girl Shar. What's up? Happy New Year, y'all! Happy New Year. 2020 gone.
It's
2020
already our New Year. It's already about to be
Yeah.
1 o'clock.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
It's almost 1 o'clock. It's
Yes,
Shar,
yeah.
it's not your New Year, though, yet, right?
I
You
think
know.
No, I
I
have
think
8 more
Chicago
minutes.
is
Yeah,
I
we
think
got 8 more
Chicago is
minutes.
an hour behind, so she got about 8 minutes.
I've still
Yeah,
Ooh.
got
yeah,
2 hours.
Yeah.
I'm in California. I
Ooh.
got 2 hours.
Oh,
yeah,
girl, you got about
Oh.
you
yeah,
3 hours behind. Ugh.
yeah, yeah,
Happy New Year's,
yeah,
though.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. From Cashville to the Key.
Is it your New Year yet, Zero? Do you
Not
have New
yet.
Year's yet?
8 minutes. 8 minutes.
Okay. You're on Shar time. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
All right. We'll sing to
yeah.
y'all.
But this is my first time on the panel with Vonda. I usually.
Oh.
First time
Right.
for everything, Zero. First time for
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah,
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 this is my first time on Char's panel.
That's true. Welcome
Welcome, welcome.
up,
Well, thank you.
Well, would anyone like to weigh in on my last thing I was discussing about YouTube? It started with a purpose. Now it's just a circus.
If you have a
Fact.
purpose, don't let anybody turn it into a circus. Keep your purpose.
All right.
Don't let them turn it into. I know it's a circus, and sometimes you get hit in the crossfire. The innocent always get hit in the crossfire. But if you're here for a purpose, don't let the circus stop you from your purpose.
Okay.
Beautiful.
That's
Positivity. I
deep.
love it.
And
Right?
even if you don't necessarily have a purpose, don't let yourself get caught up in the circus
Right.
Mm.
Hmm.
because
Mm.
that can send you in the wrong direction as well.
Okay.
True.
All
yeah.
these deepness. I'm about to be petty. Okay.
Oh God.
So, yeah.
Here
Let
she
me get my
goes.
popcorn. Let me get my popcorn.
Here's where it's at. Here's where it's at. No, because Shar, you're 100% right. And see what happened was because I remember when I got here, that's what drew me to certain segments of the sector. is the fact that they were here with a purpose, with logic, with research. They didn't want to hear people's personal experience and emotions, right? That was all dismissed. Right? We're here for the logic and for the reason, y'all. We were gonna bring logic and reason to the community. And then what happened? They got in their feelings, okay, and turned it into a circus. Why? Because everyone needs validation and attention, and not just the women, obviously. And I can't wait for enough people to take notice that they stop supporting all of this emotionally driven, validation seeking, attention needing rhetoric, because it's not helping you, it's not helping the community, and it's not even logical. Like, what happened to the days where we had to be logical and we couldn't be hypocrites and pass something by people? What happened to that? That used to be something in this sector. Those days are long gone. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm over it. I'm well over it.
I've been over it.
Right? It's enough. It's enough now, because you know what? I love my men. I do. I love black men. I love black women too. Don't, get me wrong. But to me, this is not what I'm looking to hear from men. And it really dismays me. It dismays me to hear men who are driven by emotion and, the validation and attention seeking. And then they call that logic because that's the best they can get. That's the closest they can get to logic. And that's not enough. It's just not enough, y'all. Not anymore. Let's stop holding these people up on pedestals.
There's no growth. They've been talking about the same thing for 2 years. They're not
they've gone
growing.
down.
There's no. They gone down.
They gone way
Because
down.
I don't follow it no more, so I don't know where it's at. But the last time I followed it, there was no progression jumping off.
Oh yeah, no, they're
I got rather
progressing
bored.
backwards. It's like they're falling backwards. There's no progression because it started somewhere great, and then slowly is just sinking into the abyss and the muck. And like you said, the circus, right? It's just all basically here for what? The entertainment, for the jokes, for the whatever. And so you got a whole bunch of people here who are desperate for better things in their lives, who are never going to get it because they're wasting all their time and energy and belief in a bunch of people who are just here to keep pushing the circus for likes and views. So,
Well, the thing that I noticed, after, being on YouTube, for a couple of years, for me, where it got to be very heavy and where I just started to just, what, I'm just going to kind of, pull back and kind of do my own thing and, check in every now and then, was just the amount of visceral hate or dislike amongst the people in this sector. I'm not a part of any other sector, YouTube. This is where I'm at. And I just saw a lot of anger, a lot of anger with no direction. I mean, there was direction at the person or the persons that the anger was directed at, but it didn't go anywhere. It was just this constant, bonfire that was just going on and on and on with no end. And that's very energy draining. And at some point you have to find a release, or it just depends on the type of person you are. A weaker person can really, get caught up in it and, just find themselves being very, very unproductive. A person who can be a little bit more discerning, they might learn and venture out and do other things. But for me, it's just a lot of anger, and, nobody wants to be around that. And, which brings me to the point of why I come to your channel, Char. You're very, very consistent, with the content that you put out. You're not with any mess. I feel very comfortable coming over to your channel and, being in the chat, I feel very comfortable coming onto your panel. You give me this opportunity to be able to speak, on your panel, and I really appreciate that. And I know, as a person who has on YouTube, I can create my own channel and do other things, but that's not where my head is at. That's not where I'm at. It's just really, meeting a nice bunch of people that you can, bounce ideas off of, that you can learn from, that you can hear, different opinions from, and open your mind to, something different other than what you think. I get a lot of that from Ruby, because Ruby is totally on the left side of Vonda, and,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
and that's what I appreciate about you, Ruby. I've always said that, because you think so differently, than I do. And, to me, it's refreshing. We've never, come to any type of blows or arguments or anything. But, I'm not doing that with anybody on YouTube. I am not about to come onto a public platform and pick an argument with someone because they don't agree with me, or have someone pick one with me because I didn't agree with them. I'm just not going to do that. Evolved adults, we have, and we can show that and use that and have, decent conversations. We don't all have to think the same thing.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's absolutely true. And I gotta say, because I catch jokes from the fact that I know Vonda's gonna disagree with me because I like the way she disagrees. Ruby, okay, Ruby, no, Ruby. Like, I catch jokes. I can't wait to say something I think Vonda's gonna disagree with, because when I'm right, I'm like, yes, we're gonna get a Vonda response. That's just real. But no, I think that's, like you said, it's why I appreciate being on Char's channel as well, because I know Char disagrees with probably 95% of what I say, but you would never know it because she's so classy with it, right? So she'll just go, oh, well then. And then she'll just move on like you didn't say nothing, right? But that's Char's going, what the hell were you thinking? But she won't say that, right? So
or Shaw really wants to get at, she'll ask you a bunch of questions.
That's true. She will, right?
So how do you cover that? Why you think that this is that? I'm just trying to understand.
Just ask them, that's all.
And then she'll go, okay, thank you. And then mute herself, and you're like, ooh, you done did it now. Like, she's thinking something. She won't tell you, but she's thinking it.
No.
We know you now. We see how you move.
No. Yeah, but we all have opinions and experiences, so no one is wrong in my opinion. Everyone has different experiences, so that's fine. That's how you problem solve. That's how you get somewhere. Just saying, no, I'm right because I'm 2 inches taller than you. Well, I'm older than you, so I'm right. Well, I'm younger than you, so I'm right. That makes no sense or difference. So I don't, do it that way. Welcome to the panel. We have a silent person over there. Welcome, Mr. Gray. How are you?
Oh, greetings, esteemed lords and ladies.
Hey, happy New Year!
Hey, Ruby.
Commander.
Salute.
What's up, Saru? Long time no see, brother.
Indeed. I see now a brother Jay Shine down in the chat.
Yeah, he's traveling too. What time is it where you are, Jay Shine?
See Lady Neek in the chat. Don Teasy.
All the good
buy
people.
You drink.
I know. Thank you so much, Char. You bought me a drink.
I know, that was so nice of you.
I appreciate you.
I'm having that drink right now, Char.
I am too.
And it tastes real good.
Yeah, I got my jug of water right here.
All right.
Oh, water. I'll drink that later.
Yeah, I'll have water tomorrow.
Right? That's what you drink to sober up, not what you
I
drink to
know, right?
celebrate. Come on now.
But I
I
celebrate.
still have
That's
2 hours before the new year hits for me, so I'm gonna put the water off until next year.
Right? Yeah. I feel you, girl. I feel you. Support that cause.
we're just 5 minutes in Central Standard Time into the new year. So
yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Happy New Year,
yeah.
Sean. Happy New Year. I didn't even realize y'all. Happy New Year,
Happy
Zero.
New Year,
Happy New Year,
Shar.
Mr. Gray.
Thank
All
you,
right. Yeah,
thank you,
Mrs. Gray.
thank you.
Happy
Happy
New
New Year,
Year.
Mrs. Gray. I know she's listening.
Thank you.
She's
Thank you.
always listening.
It is wonderful so far. Just beautiful. Just beautiful.
Mm. All right.
So I'm guessing by the conversation, we're talking about the cesspool that has become what used to be a pretty decent corner of YouTube.
Used to be.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
started coming to it back in 2018, it used to be good, but I just seen it go straight down a tunnel. And you know what I don't like? How they be using, because I'm more of a supporter than I don't do content. I'll just go live just for the fun of it. You know what I mean? But how some people will use you to build a channel and financially, and then decide out of the clear blue sky, you know what, I don't want to deal with my old subscribers anymore. I want to focus. I want to get rid of my old subscribers and just pick up some new subscribers. So out with the old and in with the new.
Wow.
Just forget all the support that you ever gave them.
Well, I think that part of the mistake that we've made, I know this, that I've made, was assuming that everyone is sincere as I am, and there's a period of time, like there's a, a, a process to solving issues. First is diagnosis, and we acknowledge um, what are the problems that need fixing with a said thing,
Hmm.
um, and then you start brainstorming and drawing up your plans to fix said individual problems. Well, when it comes to us as Black people, our problems are actually really simple. Um, but the problem is that you have to be sincere about actually wanting to solve them. And that was my mistake in thinking that everyone was just as sincere as I was, uh, and not realizing that people aren't really stating these things because they're matters of fact. They're stating these things because they're matters of controversy, and
Ah.
controversy,
Right.
sells in America.
Mm-hmm.
You're constantly being bombarded with the controversy. Controversy about who you are as one as a group, no matter what country that you're in. There's anti-black propaganda, all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically to the Black Americans, the most bombarded. I mean, you have a group of men who are proving the conditional regression in which they don't even think that they are Americans. They don't think that they're Americans. They think that our problems here as Black Americans exist in some kind of vacuum outside of America as a socioeconomic reality. We're inseparably tied to America's economy. We're the last true Americans. This country is sad. Everybody else is Johnny come latelys or children of immigrants.
True.
That's true.
And
Yep.
it's perfectly fine to point out issues in said community. It is not fine to continue to dwell and ruminate on them with no intention of fixing said problems.
Yep.
It's kind of like you're growing up and you probably been at your grandfather's house or your grandmother's house, you're playing with the other kids, and you accidentally break a good piece of china, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your grandmama, your grandpa, the say, clean, clean, or first they'll say, well, who broke that? And then our kids already point the finger at each other. "Well, you broke your well, because of you. If you wasn't doing this, then I wouldn't be doing that. That led to break." Like, well, get it cleaned up. Well, he the one that did it, or she the one that did it. It's like,
Right.
that's not what I said. I said get it cleaned up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And the
And
thing
it
is
still don't get
that
cleaned up.
and the thing is that now we're the parents and we're the grandparents. I'm speaking euphemistically, metaphorically. We're the grandparents. Then these are not these may be our kids, but they're not really our kids. They're our peers, our younger peers,
Mhm.
and we're the ones that have to give the direction now. In lack of having that previous generation around. And as a matter of fact, I say of the previous generation that they grew lazy. They thought that they had arrived, and as a reality, they kept our generation at a complete disadvantage with no direction. And that's why you see this generation basically doing the same thing that the previous generation did. They think that the answer to everything is marching, and it's not. And the reason why is because they haven't learned how to think creatively to do what the previous generation did, to push race or any of that. Um, we live in a time of genderized conversation. Everything is so gender based, where you have one group, especially you've heard me dub them as the derelict Negro males. Everything has to be hinged on the premise that the black woman is the only one at fault, is at fault, and the only one at fault, the only one's ever going to be at fault, and the black male, or really not the black male, but the derelict Negro male, is completely blameless and completely without culpability and without any responsibility whatsoever. And you have them moving away from responsibility. And the reason why previous generations could get things done is because they didn't sway away from responsibility. The responsibility that they swayed away from was passing down their ability, not only to think for themselves, but to have the creative will to do for themselves as well. And that is what this generation has literally been robbed of. And when it comes down to it, you have this premise that says, well, the black woman this and the black woman that, and she's been destroying our kids, yada yada yada. And my premise is very simple. Okay, if you're saying that um, if the black woman has been destroying your kids, right? Um, you're telling me you're going to wait. You're going to wait for her to straighten up her act before you actually do something to save the same black boys that you claim you're advocating for.
Mm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
now, I don't know if it's just me or if it's my kind of business sense. If I hire or if I employ a guy or contracted a company to say uh, plant some trees, right? Plant some trees, and the guy plants the trees, pay him all this money. He's been paid. He's doing this, and the trees end up dying within the first week that they're planting. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna call that same contractor out to replant trees that he did a horrible job with the first time.
Right.
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna test another contractor that can do the job right. And what I'm saying for black men is that you have to be willing to be said contract.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not willing to be said contractor, then you have to shut the entire fuck up. Because what you're telling me is that you don't really give a fuck about the black boys either, like you say the black woman doesn't. You really don't give a fuck about them. You just using the black boys as a talking point to say that you're right about what you're saying about the black woman and all your vitriolic dispense.
Yep.
Well, Cerulean, I find it where I don't have a problem if that's what you want to say as an individual. But when you're questioned about why you're saying what you're saying, that's why I have a problem at, because no one answers those questions. You can have all the talking points, but let's look at you as an individual. Well, where do you fit in? Are these your children? How many do you have? When did the problem begin? What did you try to do? Any of those things. No one answers those questions. They never do.
Of course not,
Mm.
because I don't think that these are questions that are really meant to be answered. You know, they're not quantifiable. There's no quantifiable, like there's no right or wrong answer to whatever question is being proposed. I think that there's a more serious, more pressing issue into trying to get it solved first. Then we can, kind of like an investigation. You got to solve the crime first, and then you can sort out all of the details about intent after the fact.
You know, here's, to an extent, I disagree, not with, your point, but with the fact that there's no answer. They have an answer. They just can't give the answer, because if they do, then it'll expose them for having, as you said, really no care for the generalized community
Well,
or the black boys coming up. See,
well,
because
well, the
the
reason they
way,
don't have an answer, Ruby, is the reason why they don't have an answer is because the answer actually makes them look bad, and it exposes their own apathetic laziness whenever it comes to the subject that they're trying to advocate for.
well, exactly, right? I mean, like, for example, how do they fit in? Even when they have kids, the way that they fit in is they're talking about themselves. The little boy that was never loved, that didn't have a father in his life, whose mother favored his sisters over him. He's not talking about his own children. He's not talking about this situation in the context of him being a grown man. He's still talking about him being that boy, right? And so as a result, if he answers that way, right, well, then first of all, it totally throws out half of his arguments against the black woman talking about her experiences as a young woman and whatnot. So he can't say that. And secondly, well, he's a grown man. He's an adult now. He should be looking at things from the context of being a leader in his own life, a leader in his family, a leader in his community, caring about the next generation. But he knows he's still stuck in his own pain, because, again, everything is the pain and blame Olympics, right? How do we find a way to blame the black woman today for whatever happened today, yesterday, 10, 50 years ago, right? Why would you ever? And the thing is, when you ask them questions, right, about, okay, well, I understand what you're saying. You're absolutely right. These boys didn't have fathers. It's very difficult, but the girls didn't have fathers either. So they also didn't get that home training. See, black women want to blame someone for everything. When you're 18, you become an adult. It doesn't matter that you didn't have a father. You can't blame someone else for your own bad behavior. But wait, didn't you just say that you boys don't have fathers, and then they don't, wait, so it only applies to the men? But when the women have no parenting, that doesn't matter. They're just supposed to magically wake up at 18 and know everything, and men know. Like, wait, what?
She's
It's
supposed to know at
hypocrisy.
14. What do you mean 18? She's supposed to know at 12, 13,
Right?
14. She's supposed to already know.
Magically,
Pretty
just,
early.
yep, right? And so, I mean, that's what you see here, though, is a bunch of, honestly, like, and I'm not trying to put them down. I'm not. I'm saying you're seeing a bunch of hurt children in grown person clothing, right? Who are out
Mm.
here for someone to say, You're right. Your mother was wrong for how she treated you. You're right. It's unfair you grew up without a father. You're right. It's unfair everyone expected you to just know what manhood was when no one was there to model it for you or teach you. You're right. Okay, now that we validated your feelings, right? You can put that to rest. And now come on. Let's show you what manhood's all about. That's really what they're looking for, right? If you could
Hey,
just validate those feelings, everything will be fine.
hey, Ruby, isn't there something in psychology that talks about like that the whatever like trauma someone experiences at a certain age, that's like what age they get stuck in or something like that.
Yeah. And you know what? I could say it for myself. I got stuck at 15 for a good long time. I mean, I was in my 20s, a grown 25-year-old, 15-year-old girl. That's what it is. You see it
Oh boy.
all the time. Yeah. Because your emotional development kind of stops because you're stuck where that trauma is or where that pain is. And so until you face it and resolve it, make peace with it and put it to bed, you're kind of stuck there, which is why we see so much childish, immature behavior and thinking and reasoning. And it's baffling because you're thinking these are grown people, right? They should think like
Wow.
grown people.
Well, again, I mean, these people, they're saying these things. You mind if I keep it raw for a second?
Hmm.
See, for the longest period of time, um, and I would say about a good 10 to 15 years, have been a massive migration of black men from the black church, and because of that,
Hmm.
um, the black man has gotten this reputation of of being cheap, not being able to, nobody's. It's been hard for people to get money out of the black man, and when, like for instance, when I broke away from a certain now defunct group,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I warned against going down this road.
Hmm.
I said it 3 years ago that they were going to eventually uh, criminalize um, the red pill talking points and the MGTOW and my race. They're going to start labeling as, the hate group with like these terroristic intentions and so forth, so on. Um, I mean, just recently you had Southern Poverty Law Center. You had, other groups um, that literally like the ACLU that would say, yeah, they actually have grounds to label this type of rhetoric as hate speech.
Hmm.
Hmm.
You see, um, the problem comes in when your desire to exploit the pain of black men, the pain of black boys for your own ill-begotten gains. Because you don't really have anything going on in life to sustain yourself, and you found this new tool that allowed you to generate a lot of money in a short period of time, and you'll use anything whatsoever at your disposal to garner that, those resources that you're extracting from the very community you claim you want to help. But every time you turn around, every 5 minutes is hit the link, et cetera, et cetera.
Hmm.
Appreciate you. Hit the link.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Constant reminder, and then shaming the audience into donating money that they can't get back. They'll never get back.
Hmm.
And this that rhetoric that red pill, make tout that whole like little thing is is the new tool used to extract wealth and resources out of the black community, specifically from the black male, through exploiting his pain. Even going as far as to create a trauma bond with these black men that you intend to exploit for their dollars. Right? Create a
Yeah.
trauma bond, and then when the trauma bond no longer works, you are willing to put the said false friendship or relationship uh, on Front Street because it makes for good clicks and views.
Right. Yep.
Which
Yeah. It's like
which
a church. Yeah.
which in the digital space, those clicks and views translate into dollars. And see, the problem that I have is when, especially whenever it comes to my cases, whenever these people who are clearly victims of this, are talking, crap about me, and say, well, he's blue pill, he's bad, well, yada yada yada. Oh, he's a simp, he's advocating for the gynocracy. He's trying to get, pussy boys. He's trying to get the approval of these scrags and yada yada yada, which is all nonsense because that is the same level of exploitation the black church does, right? Whenever
Uh-huh.
that tithes and offerings come up, like a man won't steal from God.
Right.
Oh, there are people who are against God and they're against the church. And they work for Satan. They are the elements of Satan come to destroy the church. It's the same rhetoric. Blue pill, red pill. Red pill is basically the black church. Oh, we're doing this for a righteous reason. The blue pill, oh, they work for the devil. They're here to destroy the church. Now, the whole time, the pastors of these digital parishes, they don't give a damn about the parishioners. But the parishioners have got it in their mind somehow, right? That somehow they're on this righteous path. They've been given this righteous path by this YouTube pastor.
Preach.
And see, and that's why, going into 2021, that's why, you guys know I've been telling you guys, look, I'm fully willing to back away from it entirely. And the reason I'm saying that is because I'm looking at it the same way I look at the black church. People will start leaving it on their own once they realize that it's basically a go nowhere, exploitative money pit that they have to keep dumping money into.
That roof is never fixed. Yeah.
And
or their lives.
And meanwhile, the church parishioners, they ain't even got vehicles. Pastor riding around in a brand new vehicle, buying jet planes with your tithes and offerings.
Preach.
Bravo, darling. Oh, my bad.
This is the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you listen to the way it demonized. I mean, and really, they think that this is the parishioners are fooled into believing that this is true. The same way that the Christian has been fooled into believing that everything in the Bible is true.
Right.
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 And really, it's because they already possess this Christian mental framework, which translates nicely into something that parallels it. But instead of giving it the name God, we're going to give it the name red pill because it's so abstract and ambiguous. I can't say it's God, and I can't say that I am a bishop
So I'm gonna just call it red pill.
So we call it red pill. And those that are against the church, they're blue pillars. They're apostates.
But you know what, though, Cerulean? I gotta draw another parallel that at least I see in my head, which is that, whether you believe in God and Christianity or not, the point is that the prosperity gospel that's being preached to our community has nothing to do with Christianity, just like the red pill rhetoric that these red pill pastors are preaching to the community has nothing to do actually with the original purpose of red pill. So, but somehow or another, all these new people who keep wandering in and saying that now they're red pill for life, they have no idea what the hell they're fighting for or what they were supposed to be fighting for.
That's the cleverness of the new neo-Catholic, or really neo-Protestant, Southern Baptist church that you see here on YouTube, right? But think about it. All of them have the same elements. I'm here to help you, brothers. Only if you listen. You just gotta listen. You gotta take heed. Now, anybody that agrees with it is a red pill or a Christian. Anybody that disagrees with it
is not a Christian.
Is not a Christian. Is the Antichrist.
That is so true,
though. Just like Christianity, you know what you do? You put money into the collection plate and you pray to God and you worship the pastor, and hopefully God will send magical blessings down to pay your rent, right?
Right.
But right, the same way red pill, you pay your pastor, right? You praise your pastor red pill, and hopefully that'll magically send some blessings down from up on high to help you pay for your battle in court.
It's like, look, we support the channel, support the building fund. What is the difference?
Right.
What is the
same thing? And then the worst part is when you need a little help, so you go back to this church you've been paying who knows how many, maybe hundreds of dollars to every month, right? And you say, listen, I need a lot of help right now. I'm in some hot water. It's not even my fault. I need help. And what do they tell you to do? They say, well, you got a new family you could ask? Well, maybe you should pray on it, brother. I ain't got no money to help you right now.
Right, you're supposed to be my family. That's why I'm asking you.
Right. Nah, man, I can't handle it right now. But I thought you said you made 10 G's last night. Oh man, but it's all tied up right now, and it went into the building fund. I had to pay for my studio mic. That stuff's not cheap. I give you guys content.
He'd be like, I never knew you.
I'm like, oh, cut the crap, Pastor. I seen your brand new Range Rover in the parking lot.
And then you look at it now like, when a person that's normally they've been giving their tithes and offerings, faithfully, and whenever this COVID thing hit, they haven't been able to tithe and offer. You get to say, he's a blue pillar. He stopped, he can't say, they can't say he stopped tithing and and giving his offerings to the Lord. He can't say that. So he turned blue pill.
Right.
Wow.
And then what happens is that it's like that game of telephone, and then you have the community shaming going on the same way it happens in the black church. That's why you can sit up in a black church and the preacher would be preaching a sermon that you think specifically talking about you. That's because the motherfucker is talking about you.
Right. Ain't that business?
Because the black church be circulating your business all over.
Right.
Yeah.
Very well. No, that's
I never had that happen before. I remember I had a conversation with a pastor like outside thing, and then They say no, like I mean, he over preaching, he brings up the conversation. He didn't say my name, but he brings the conversation. I'm like, really, Pastor? Really?
Oh yeah.
Certain things that he says and certain scriptures that he quote from the Bible, you think, gosh, he's really talking to me. Is God talking to me?
Like, no, the church is talking. The church is talking about you, and the pastor made a sermon about some gossip he heard in the church. You know, or she heard in the church. You know,
You're supposed to be honored by that, of course, right? Just like your level of belief and faithfulness, are you a good disciple or not, is directly dependent on how much you praise, worship, and offer to help dedicate your whole life to the pastor, not to the cause,
and the
right?
whole
Not to
time,
God, but to the
and you
pastor.
look at,
Pastor, right.
but see, I'm not even done with the comparisons, right? Because you look at the comparison between what you see with this space that they call the manosphere. I don't even know why they still call it that, because it implies that there's men there and there's not.
No.
All it is a group of trauma bonded derelict Negro males in a masturbatory circle jerk
Yeah.
who are, you know, only held up by the fact that there's so much repetition of the same message, the same way so much repetition in the Christian church.
Mhm.
Now, what do they all have in common? Is that the pastors, the peddlers of the message. The peddlers of the message don't really believe in it the same way the black church pastor don't really believe in it. How do we know that they don't believe in it? Well, you look at the black community. The church looked good, but the community around it is looking real fucked up, like a cesspool.
True.
Now you look at the red pill space. Oh, on paper it looks good, but they've made a cesspool out of the space.
Exactly.
It's the same because it was built on, you know, less than savory, you know, ill-begotten intent to earn profit
Right.
by exploiting pain, which is exactly what the church does. It exploits pain by selling you hope.
Paying for profit.
What does the red pill shit tell these brothers?
The same
I
old
mean,
shit.
this is your only hope. That's why they created this whole thing. The sanctuary of Satan is no longer called the synagogue of Satan. It's called the gynocracy.
Oh, I'm so tired of hearing that word. Gynocracy. It's like, oh my God, gynocracy.
They use that word death.
To death, okay?
And what is this? And what is this gynocracy? An artificial construct that was created by a competing group of men to tamper down competing groups of men.
That's exactly what it is.
But instead of giving the competing group of men that smoke, no, they give the victims. What I'm talking about is the women, who are also victims of the same tool of manipulation. Because what are some of the rhetoric that you hear in that space? Single motherhood, out of wedlock birth rate, yada yada yada. All of this shit you heard in the church.
Right. Right.
Think about that.
See, the pastor sit there on Sunday morning and tell you you're wrong by having babies out of wedlock. Well, wedlock is a Christian term.
Yes, it is.
Wedlock has literally only been around as long as Catholicism, which in the course of human history has only been a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
They think that they're doing something new. It's not really new. It's just the packaging. You know, the chip bag is different. It's got more colors.
Yeah.
And see, you're looking at the same thing. And see, I'll tell you a great story. Long time ago, 2,000 years, Europe was going through a complete and total collapse whenever it came to population. The population started declining so rapidly. They had virtually hunted just about every animal in the West Rhine-Pfalz to near extinction. And what happened was a period of scarcity that they call the Dark Ages, where the tribal leaders of Europe said, look, we have to do something else. We can't continue to do the things that we're doing because it's not sustainable. So what do they do? They say, we are going to create this new type of order, one in which takes away rights from women. Why are women the focus of this thing? Because women are the gateway for children. And the more children that you have without the resources, that's more mouths to feed than you have the capability to feed, than you have the resources to sustain. And it was meant to keep the population from growing so large that it lost the ability to sustain its population. But what happened was it expanded too large to where it was no longer sustainable. And whenever that happens, what you have is the periods of conquest. The same thing happens in every single society, from classical to contemporary. When a population outgrows its ability to feed itself, it begins a period of conquest. The Christians were the ones who gave it order, who gave it definition. That happened 2,000 years ago. And they took away the rights from the women, and it's been that way for the last 2,000 years. That 2,000 years, because of that Christian mental framework, that Catholic Christianity, every society that has came out of that reality started as some kind of Catholic influence or Christian influenced nation. America started out as the Christian nation. Why? Because America was originally an extension of Britain. Until the Protestant Reformation led by Martin Luther. And then when Martin Luther reaches the Americas, it becomes such a popular opinion because it was different. He found another clever way to redress Catholic belief systems and codified morality, that it became more popular. You mean to tell me I could still, go down and fuck with the hoes in the bars and still be saved? Count me in. Marty, you're a pretty good guy. I like the fact that I can go and sell my daughter to the next camel trader. I didn't want the daughter anyway. That's another mouth I gotta feed. I need boys to work these fields. Which is why they prioritize male labor more than female labor. Because they looked at the female, according to the Catholic religion, as the lesser vessel.
Right.
And that's why they put so many restrictions on her. They put so many restrictions on her, right? that whenever it comes to the Victorian era, what spawned out of that was this thing called the cult of domesticity, in which they said, well, if you want to classify yourself as a quote unquote real woman,
Oh.
it is one who is morally upright in the eyes of God. And who is God? God is this new group of men that's really exploiting you, so they can maintain male hegemony or male dominance by restricting the procreation, the procreative function of women. So women aren't allowed to have wealth. Women aren't allowed to vote. They're allowed to take part in any politics. Now, America is barely getting out of a civil war, has about 50, 60 years of economic growth thanks to its slave labor force that we now know today as the noble American Negro. And in this 60 years of growth, it has a problem. It has to enter World War One. Problem is having this little money issue. How are we going to enter the war? We have plenty of soldiers, but no way to feed them, and armies march on their bellies.
Yeah, need money.
So what do? They expand the tax base by allowing women, well, specifically white women, the right to vote in 1920, which made them also taxpayers, which also allowed them to allowed them to put their money through taxation to the war effort, right? And see, a thing like that, you think women are like just gonna give up their damn money and not expect some kind of like, hold up, you owe us. We helped you with your war effort. For the longest time, we've been out without rights. We've been without wealth, other than the wealth that is left to us by our fathers or our husbands.
Mm-hmm.
We've helped to fund your industrial rise to power. Now, mind you, the biggest contributor was Negro slave labor.
Of course, yeah.
But the Negro slave labor could only go so far whenever it came to war. Sure, you could produce a lot of agricultural products, but you couldn't produce enough food to feed an ongoing war effort that was prolonged and protracted. At the end of World War I, America realized that it needed more than just soldiers. It also needed ships. And you know what they did? They put women, little girls that were unwanted by their parents, in work in these foundries and factories. Back then, there was no child labor laws. As a matter of fact, you could go back and read the book Oliver Twist. Oliver Twist was about child labor. Now here we are coming into World War II. We America's realizing that the war economy is a great economy. If there's only some way we can get in on this war in Europe and somehow exploit what they have as far as manufacturing, that would put us ahead in the Industrial Revolution, which was already, on its ass end during World War II. started building out this rapid expanse of naval war vessels, battleships like none the world had ever seen before. A floating metal tank with guns that can flip over beaches. Can land an invasion force of hundreds of thousands of ground-based troops all at once. The world had never seen a thing like this. And that worked so well that America kept it around for, well, it's 2021 now, so 80 some years. And they're still using that model. The whole time that they've been using that same model, trying to quote unquote give democracy to the world, they have been creating a malformed type of democracy here in their own country. One in which ensures that the country is on a one-way ticket towards complete structural and economic collapse by allowing certain groups, as long as they shared a particular skin color, certain rights and privileges and access to wealth generating avenues in this country, and locking others out of it, which actually stagnates the economy over the long period. And you're talking about decades and decades and decades of that. Right. So where instead of allowing inclusion for all citizens to have access to wealth generating apparatus in this country, they would rather literally go off of the gold standard, create this new system that parallels the old Bretton Woods system called exorbitant privilege, that gives you this new thing that they want to give you called credit. You can get things now and pay tomorrow, or pay over the course of, your lifespan.
Okay.
Now, this whole time, they're artificially inflating. Now they have exorbitant privilege. I don't have to go and mine any gold. I could just print dollars out of my press. Oh, I'll just give them some arbitrary value on paper. And then I'll make all of the bills uniform size. I'll just give the different same size bills different values that people will use as a medium of trade. Even though all of the bills weigh the same, shape the same, have the same dimensions. Well, we'll change up the coinage. Physical coinage will weigh different. It'll have different diameters, different shapes, different pictures on them, because we have to fool people's minds to make them think that they have something real in their hands. And what happens? America goes through this huge thing called the Great Collapse of 2008.
Oh, yeah.
Has to restrict the economy. Once again, inflate credit. To such extent to where now you have a second crisis, which is COVID-19 pandemic. And because people aren't spending money and generating economy, because when you're talking about economy, you're actually talking about people, because people generate economy by spending money with each other.
Yeah.
Very true.
And because you have said, well, we're going to artificially inflate this credit system, we're going to put all these people out of work because we don't really have any industrial things going on. We have this new thing coming in, and we're close to the singularity, and we're trying to catch up to the rest of the world who we tried to keep locked out of this new fourth industrial revolution. And now here we are, where you have today a very overly suspicious limp-wristed Negro running around telling you that a high-value man is one that makes six figures. Mind you, the motherfucker that told you that six figures was a value at all was the competing group of men who put those little pictures on those same size bills across the board and gave different values to them.
Oh.
Interesting.
And he's running around here telling women that they're going to die alone because they're average. When the reality is that there's nothing about this suspicious Negro that will give you the information that he's above average, other than his fashion sense, which is ringing of a drag queen.
Ow. Ow.
I'm gonna go back to eat my popcorn now.
And then the reality of it is this very same suspicious Negro, he's only an average Negro.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, let's do some math. When you talk about social dysfunction, when you're talking about social dysfunction in America, right? Divorce rate is about what, 60-something%?
Yeah.
60-something% is the average. As a matter of fact, it's the majority. It's over 51%. This is the guy that's been divorced twice. That would make him very average whenever it comes to that. The only accolades that he has is the fact that he was able to go viral with a YouTube video in which, in a very catty and vitriolic way, to publicly disparage a woman to try to beat down on her self-esteem. Because if you really look at that interview, what you really saw was a derelict Negro male, well over into his 50s, right? Who hadn't really accomplished much at all other than, going through college, pledging, crossing the sands, then come out on the other side with some very suspicious proclivities. Right?
Right.
Doesn't have a business to his name. You can't point to any kind of property or assets.
Nope. Or a wife.
You have a guy whose only accomplishment really is one of a history of failing at the very thing that he claims to be giving women and young men help about, which is being a dating coach. Well, if you've been divorced twice, that would say that you don't really have any dating experience.
Right.
Facts.
You know?
You don't even have any real relationship experience.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to tell me you've been married twice, and both times, the only thing that both of these women have in common is you, but they're the problem. No self-reflection whatsoever that says at some point in time I have to acknowledge that the only thing that these women have in common is me, and I couldn't make it work with either one of them.
Yeah.
But yet he'll come on and give this artificial representation of what wealth actually looks like. And the reality is you've actually been in those circles, wealth don't look like that. Where he's wearing his life savings on his back.
Right. His whole life savings.
When the suits that he's wearing, hell, I can afford to buy one of those with just the money that I use for a jar that I go to Chipotle with whenever my wife don't feel like cooking.
That second stimulus check.
We.
Get you
And if you really look at the way he responded, it was the way that a woman would respond when she feels threatened by another woman.
Yep.
Ow.
real talk.
Sorry, but yeah.
And when that woman, and when a woman
Sorry,
feels
not sorry.
threatened by, and when a woman feels threatened by another woman, the woman who feels threatened is going to make the first jab to try to bring that woman down a notch. So when this woman is literally barking off her accolades and saying, "Well, I own this, and this is my business," yada 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 yada, what he realized was that reality sunk in. I'm actually talking to a woman that's superior to me, so let me bring her down a notch. Now, a derelict Negro male cheers that on because he doesn't realize that he's looking at suspicious behavior. Or rather, he does know he's looking at suspicious behavior, but he won't acknowledge it because in his mind, because he suffers from the same low self-esteem that the suspicious Negro suffers from, he's going to let that shit slide because it agrees with his narrative. Because if women ain't shit, then I don't have to feel bad about myself. I can say that it was never me. And that's why you see in this space that they've turned into a cesspool. They always have to be without culpability. They always have to be without responsibility. They always have to be in this position where they are completely blameless, like a freshly born white sheep that is untainted by the world. But the woman, because we came out of her womb, she's the one at fault. It was all her.
Wow.
Mind you, she couldn't get pregnant unless she can't be a single mother unless a single penis went into that single woman who you signed up for the open legs, but you backed away whenever the responsibility came in. And to make it so bad, the suspicious Negro did that to two women. And as a matter of fact, one of the biggest for-profit pastors in this YouTube apparatus. You might know him, about yay tall, age of about 40 years. When he takes his hat off, he was walking around with a paste-on beard.
Sounds familiar. Continue.
Right? He's another one that advocates and talks shit about single mothers, right? While having created a single mother. All the while he's laid up with a single mother. Who he's been engaged to for, it's 2021 now, so 12 years going into.
Interesting.
And what the reality is that you have a postmodern Negro who really has taken on the mantle of the previous generation of women. They're sitting in a women's space. They're chasing around the women's. Women can't have shit for themselves. Because, see, if the woman has something for herself and she is making that work for herself, if she has a healthy relationship with a man, it disproves all of the shit that the red pill pastor has been peddling to his parish. And so they come over and see these women that are able to have cordial and kind and loving relationships with men, and they're seeing that it is working out, it is flourishing. It disproves the myth that has been created of this amalgamation of fiction that they call red pill.
So, Cerulli, you saying these guys are invading women's spaces?
Yes, they are.
What?
I seen
What?
it.
Mm.
I seen it.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Zero. You don't see how they be invading JB space?
Yeah,
And
you know, these are the same guys that say that women invade their spaces.
My
So
point exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And you
that's
see it all the time. Every time she go live, that's a woman's space,
that is that is true. I have seen that.
and they
I,
come over there and invade her space.
To be fair, and I'm not even lying, I didn't even know that sector existed, and I didn't know any of those women existed until a man brought them to my attention from watching their content and then saying, I need to cover this. So, I mean, I'm being real. I didn't hear there's about 10, 15 women I'd never heard of before in my life until a man who watches their content to hate watch it regularly brought it to my attention, right? So I'm just saying, I'm just saying. And that's like from 4 years ago when things were more functional than they are in this space. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that's another thing that gets me because they was always complaining about women invading men's spaces, but then you finally find some women who don't want to be. They don't want nothing to do with a man's space.
Mm-hmm.
see, the thing is that whenever you see women in their element, you know, whether it be with other women in a communal sense or with other men and having cordial conversations that don't turn into these pissing matches as what you've seen with that certain suspicious limp-wristed Negro that I was talking about aforementioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And see, whenever they see that, they have to come disrupt that because if if you're seeing some men that will come into those spaces, you have a third group of men that are like, hold up, I really can't get down with this red pill shit. They got something going on over here. I like the format of this. And and that's the reason why you're seeing a lot of the more poisonous adherents to those guys over there come and troll the women's spaces
Mm-hmm.
because they're seeing what motherfuckers that used to be a part of their church in those spaces,
Right. That
and
is.
so they gotta come over there and disrupt and say something that is controversial, meant to trigger. If you notice the generation we're living in, that that there you have people trying to get big and famous off of triggering people, like the shock jocks and the reality TV shows of old.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're seeing these people that used to be a part of their church in these spaces, and they got to disrupt it because they got to get those, they got to get those parishioners back, because parishioners translates into dollars, and these are pimp pastors that live on this shit.
Mm-hmm.
The church falls apart. If the church falls apart, well, what is a pastor with no church? Well, another homosexual, another homeless Negro, flip flopping from couch to couch wherever he may lay. Tragic. And so they're treating it like a game of life and death. I gotta destroy this shit because it's destroying my church.
Yeah.
That's why you see so much smoke for people like, and I hate to do the name dropping, but sisters like Sister George,
Mm. Mm.
huh? Sisters that be over there like breakdown of a woman's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Go and troll that space. It was just the level of vitriol being spewed because these are people that depend on those parishioners to sustain themselves in real life, and a pastor is nothing but a homosexual or a dumpster diver without his church. They see these people going from this one space because the YouTube thing makes it to where, you try to see as much as you can. They stumble into these spaces where they don't see the men and women just barking back and forth. They see the men and women carrying all these conversations. Like, I can have a conversation like that. Well, I think I want to stick over here for a while.
Right.
And then next thing you know, more and more people, because that word gets out. Like, yeah, I don't really fuck with that anymore. Like, I can't get down with that, that yelling back and forth and talking down to women. Like, I can't really get down with that. It's like, but I be over here, and that's how the name drops. The word of mouth gets around. Next thing you know, the pastor see all of his parishioners over at the healthy channel, and the healthy channel starting to grow. And then here come the hating ass, pimp preacher whose church is, going on by the wayside. Like, what y'all doing over here? See, y'all against God. Y'all see,
Right.
you're not against God. Y'all blue pill simps. Y'all make y'all father the devil.
Blasphemers. You heretics.
You know what? I knew the day that I knew for sure they were all lost is the day there was a man who has traditional values in his house. He said that and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But he said something along the lines of how, of course, he shows love and respect to his wife and definitely values her opinion on things. And they told him he was a blue pill simp and he's lost.
Mm-mm.
And his
Oh yeah.
response was to ask, how many of them are getting the coochie from anybody more than 5 days a week? And he asked for any hands raised and then wrote, I'm raising my hand. You know why? Because you calling him a simp because he knows how to respect and love his wife.
Wait,
He
Ruby,
respects other women
you asked
and
what? How many men are getting what?
are getting the coochie,
The coochie is.
a little wop, as they say, wop.
I think WAP stands for whack ass.
Well, the way Cardi B meant the WAP. The point is, right? How many of y'all getting some sex on a regular basis, right? And he's the only one in that whole group. You know why? Because he knows how to love and respect women, and he doesn't see them as some type of slave or indentured servant that should walk around barefoot, pregnant, shut up, get him a sandwich, and blow him whatever you want because they're human beings with their own inherent intelligence and value. And any man, which again, very few, but some men are saying this, knows that behind any good man is a good woman. Behind any successful man is a great woman. So at the end of the day, if you don't value women, you need to find one who just shuts her mouth and wanders around and gets you sandwiches. Well, then where are you really going with that? Right? You just have a woman who will sit silently in the car next to you as you drive everyone off a cliff, even though she sees the cliff coming and you don't, because she's supposed to sit down and shut up and not have an opinion, right?
Don't see what it is that and I'm a bit keep it so 100 with you.
Mm-hmm.
What you have is you've watched this Negro who is feeling like he has been left out.
Mm.
He's been left out of everything. He's been left out of his ability to sleep with the women that he desires. Not
Mm-hmm.
the women who sleep with him because, well, either they felt some kind of sympathy for him or because There's no other dick around, and any dick will do at that point.
Oh God.
Right?
Mhm.
And so because they've been left out, they've been left out of the American dream. Because the American dream, they told them that all you had to do was get to this certain level of life, and women will work hard and get to this level, and women are going to fall down at their knees and be ready to give you exactly suck your dick, whatever you want to.
Mhm.
And then what happens? They get to that milestone, and women aren't bowing down on their knees to suck their dick. And then what happens? You see, now comes the mainstream media trick bag. Because if you remember in the '90s, they create these reality shows, and they had all these people back then. They were called pickup artists, right?
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
You tell me they didn't get their versions?
And
Dang.
and the pickup artists who were doing the same thing that this red pill derelict Negro male is doing now, exploiting the pain, right?
Mhm.
And that pain is the pain of rejection,
Mhm.
the pain of involuntary celibacy,
Mhm.
in which that loneliness is kicking in, where they create whole narratives. They created a fictional Negro, or actually they created a pair of fictional Negroes called Pookie and Ray Ray, just so they could be
Right.
better than Pookie and Ray Ray, and then they tell the women that they desire that
Right.
they're better than this fictional character that they just made up that we call Pookie and Ray Ray.
Mhm.
a pair of fictional characters.
Who seem to be doing better than them, apparently.
And
Mhm.
Pookie and Ray Ray. I mean, you listen to this because it's very sadistic, and it's subtly narcissistic, right?
Very narcissistic.
Mhm.
Because what you're looking at is the idealization phase of narcissism. But they're not idealizing an actual subject, they're idealizing a fiction. What kind of Negro creates a fiction and where the fictional character does better in life than the motherfucker who created it?
A delusional.
Right.
Lack of imagination
A very,
or
very
problem solving.
I want you to think of how sick this is, where the fictional character I just made up gets more women than I do.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
crazy, right?
That and in classic narcissism, that is called idealization.
Yes, it is.
Mm.
Because what he's saying is that I want to be like this fictional character I had created, or what I assume of the women that are choosing mates that are based on their desires, who they feel threatened by.
False imperfections.
I mean,
Threatened by their character. Okay.
you've heard me say it time and time again. America is the biggest, baddest narcissist manufacturing machine the world has ever known.
Hmm.
It is like no other that history has ever had. Hell, the Romans would be blushing in their graves if they could see the kind of narcissist manufacturing machine that America has become. Hell, they blush, they smell like, I wish I could just come back to life and be a part of that. How did they perfect the system where they could create so many soulless narcissists in one fell swoop, in one batch? And they're pumping them out at a time. by the millions, all with this one thing in mind, is that they don't even have to compete with other men. They can compete with the own fiction of their creation. That is some cold shit. That is it's a cold game.
Wow.
And then, because black women are the objects of their desires, and all narcissism actually has a beginning in which it scars the person who is having this really self-inflicted trauma due to rejection, feelings of self-loathing, feelings of never being good enough. The loneliness of never being quote unquote chosen. To where and Ruby could tell you about this, because even in clinical psychology, they tell you that when a person cannot attain the objects of their desires, they learn to disdain them.
True. That is so true.
Facts.
If I can't have you, I will hate you.
Yes, and want to make everybody else hate you.
I mean, yeah, even in the what's called Oedipus complex, right? Right? You think about it, that's what ends up happening, right? Who's the object of your desire? Well, your mother, right? But you can't have her. Why? Because you have your enemy, your father there. He's bigger than you and stronger than you. You can't take him on. He'll kill you.
Why,
right?
you want your mother to be your woman.
Right? So what do you end up doing? You end up relating with your father, right? And you develop disdain, low-key disdain for who? You would think, well, in a healthy relationship, realistically, should be a little bit your father, right? Because you should envy him a little bit. You should want to, you want to overtake him. But in these dysfunctional relationships that, these young men have now going on, who do they have the disdain for? Their mothers, right? And so who do they have the disdain for? The women. Right? They've now projected that onto the women.
If you really want a deep examination of it, all you have to do is read the story of Oedipus Rex. It's all entailed in Oedipus Rex. 1 second.
I think we're going to get the story, y'all.
I know.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a story. I didn't know there was a story to this.
You know what?
Kids like story time.
I did not know there was a story to this. I was like, oh, okay, that's where they got the whole comment.
This is real G right now. Like I could. That is real what he's speaking.
Yeah.
And I like how he related it to church. That is just so right. To me, the church is the devil's playpen. That's how I feel.
Well, it's been.
I have a reason to feel like that. I've seen it. I used to be a faithful churchgoer. I don't go at all now.
And you know this thing about this, like the pastors that went to like the Vintage school, all that, they have to learn about like all these other different religions, and then still as they come back into Christianity, so I think they learn that, then learn rhetoric, how to say things in a certain way to get the people going. That's like why you kind of hear them like saying things like in a rhythm. Yeah, that's part of rhetoric.
Yeah, I told my auntie she don't speak to me anymore. I told my auntie I'm not a Christian. She said, "What are you?" I said, "I'm not none of that. I'm definitely not a Christian."
Oh, no, my mother knows. Everyone knows I am a proud backslider. Little short story about the Christian church and what it really does to people. Because I was born and raised in the church, and I'm the one who developed an interest in God, not my mother. And I'm the one who brought her to church. Really, I was young, And that church was the people in that church were so jealous, really sort of jealous
Mhm.
and envious of a child of 10, 11 years old, right?
You see what I'm saying?
And my relationship with my mom, how my mom treated me. They were jealous of my mother being so young, single mom because my parents had separated so long ago and whatever, so successful still. And what did they do? Their first goal in life was to destroy me, the 10, 11-year-old child, separate me from my mom, turn my mother against me, and destroy me, turn the whole church against me. One time, they convinced my mother, I'm not even kidding, not only to kick me out of her house, so I was homeless, but before I was homeless, I was at
Period.
my grandmother's house, and they convinced my mother, who had never really beaten me like that, um, to jump me, literally pull up on me with four grown women who were all bigger and taller than me when I
How did
was
they
15 years
convince
old.
her to do that?
Oh wow.
They convinced her it was for my own good,
Was it
because of God and
was
spoil the
it
rod.
hypnotism?
Hmm?
Was she like hypnotized?
It's just about it's about you taking this rhetoric, right? Taking the
Mhm.
Bible and say, spare the rod, spoil the child, blah blah blah. And so they had her convinced it was like a cult.
Oh,
My mom describes it as being like in a cult. And so they pulled up on me, five of them. My mom stood back, but still let the other four people jump me, and they were beating the hell out of me. And I'm convinced to this day, the only reason why I have no permanent injury is my grandmother was watching from the balcony. She was waiting for me to get off the bus because she knew I was coming home then. And so she flew down, she called 911, flew down the stairs, ran out and laid on top of me so they couldn't get to me. And they were still trying to kick underneath her without hitting her to get me. And all the
Wow.
way until the police came. Oh yeah. Those are the church people.
and
Yeah,
Longtime Christians.
remind you, she's
I'm, I'm,
innocent. She's innocent.
yeah,
You know, like
yeah,
what y'all
yeah,
doing?
yeah. I remember. Yeah, yeah. I remember one time I had a church and I was kicked me out because I just asked questions they didn't want to answer.
Oh,
Like,
you
like,
better
like.
not, you better not ask any question. You better not.
You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
yeah. I mean,
Right.
it like at first they tried to move me to different, Sunday schools, like hoping that would, that would keep me quiet, or or that person asked to answer the questions that they didn't want to answer, and and it was like the fact that they were like I knew they were trying to control me, just like what they were saying to me. I was like, okay. I mean, me, I don't like being told to do so. Of course, I push back,
Mhm.
and and then they got so bad they all wanted to kick me out. So I'm like, yeah, well, so now you got to do it. I'm not coming back.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but you see how all of this relates back, right? So
yeah,
what is the goal right now of, these spaces? Well, let's find women and thrash the hell out of them, right? And then, all you could do is sit there and lie on top of that woman and hope to God, you can take some of that brunt from her, right? Because what are you gonna do? You gotta beat the hell out of them, and it's all over this rhetoric that says you can only make women better by beating the hell out of them, beat them down into pulp, take away all their confidence, all their self love, all their self worth. Thrash, 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 thrash. Right? Exact same demonic rhetoric with the exact same. Let's all pull up, right? Five of us on this one little innocent newbie wandering in, just innocently asked a question, just innocently trying to live her life, wanting to actually do better, which is why she's here, because she's here to actually solve problems, not just to, point blame or nope, thrash, 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 beat the hell out of her, jump her, and then feel good. Feel good that five of you jumped this chick together, right? Five of you, bigger than her, stronger than her, right? Had to jump one of her and they feel
yeah,
better about it. They really do. It's exactly the same. When you take any of your situations or stories that are associated with Black church, even the terrible ones, for those of y'all who have had horrible experiences like myself, and then you look at what's going on right now in these spaces, you can find the parallel. It's so exactly the same, right? And if you're not willing to beat the living hell out of some girl with five of your closest friends, well, then you know what? You're blue pill. You're caping for women, right? So you don't want to be caping for women. You don't want to be blue pill, right? You want to be red pill. You want to be down. You want to prove that you're masculine. You don't want to be one of the other millions of things you can call a guy, right? You don't want to be one of those
Yeah.
terrible things. So you're gonna do it, just like they advocate for, just like the rhetoric says, because otherwise you're not really red pill. Even though red pill has nothing to do with women or thrashing the hell out of women or like none of this is supposed to have anything to do with this. So why do we go down this? You think about what is IBMOR? Introspective Black Men of Reform. Introspective means what? Self-examination, going into yourself to introspect about self. So
Don't
where's
forget
all
to
that
reform.
self-reflection? Thank you. Where's your reform? Exactly.
Right.
Where's your reform? See, I don't understand how people can really sit there and think on any level that you looking at the other people, pointing fingers of blame, trying to spend all your time, energy, effort, and research, pulling up all the ways that you can blame someone else is being an adult, is being accountable, is solving problems. I'm sorry, is being a grown man. I don't get it. You can't convince me that any of this is you being an adult or being a man or being accountable, because accountable people focus on self or they focus on stuff relating to self. And unless you're trying to tell me that wearing weave is a big issue that Black men face, I don't see why that's a topic you ever talked about. It has nothing to do with you.
Right.
Mm,
And so on, right? I mean, from
yeah.
everything. It's crazy. It's crazy to me that all the focus is on the women. That even when, and then when there's so much focus on women, let's talk about saving the Black boys. I agree, we should. I'm not against that. But where is the understanding that even if you saved all of the Black boys, unless we save the Black girls, all of those Black boys are just going to be facing the same problems and the same dysfunction and the same hurt and the same everything that this generation is too. Because the dysfunction, the problems, the issues, the biases, the everything that is going on and affecting our children are affecting both the boys and the girls. It's I
Yeah.
don't know how we're missing that. I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like from what I know, like from like a lot of groups like this, they follow like they doctrines. You know, they say they follow certain things, but they never really look at it. Just like Christians never really look at the Bible like that, except for like scriptures that the pastor tell them to read, and then after that, they don't even. Most time they don't even keep up with that. They might keep up with like certain ones, but most time it's just doctrine they following whatever the leader that is there, that's a pastor, tells them what they should do.
hmm Well, the majority of these people are brand new, and see, this is the thing that they don't seem to realize. They're following a bunch of people who say, "Well, I've been here for 5 years. I've been here for 6 years. I've been here for 7 years." So, don't you ever wonder where all those people's day ones are? Where did they go? Why aren't they there anymore? Why don't they support you anymore? Why, when they're doing research and saying to the people who are against something, why don't you do your research? Why don't you watch the previous content? Blah, blah, blah. I want to ask them the same question. Do you know anything about this content creator? Because I know them. I remember their content from 2016, 2017, and this wasn't it. This is not what they used to say. This was not their content. This was not their position. This was not what they were pushing. Did you not realize that when you were doing your deep dive research, or did you just watch the last 6 months? Right?
I mean, look at the. I mean, you look at the similarities to like Oedipus Rex, right? So, uh,
Yes.
We're back.
Oedipus. See, Oedipus. Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, I'm back.
Story time. Okay.
So, Oedipus ruled over the city of Thebes. Okay,
Mhm.
and there's a plague that's like running over Thebes. It's a plague that's killing people. Um, Now, if you listen to what the derelict Negro male is saying, is that there is a plague that is destroying the quote unquote community or community, as they say, right? The plague of dysfunction, disease, plague, yada yada yada. It needs to be cleansed. And what's happening in Thebes is that the citizens are telling Oedipus, you have to lift this plague. You have to stop the plague. Do something to stop this plague. And so he goes. Well, as a matter of fact, we'll back it all the way up. As a child, there was King Laius. King Laius and his wife, they have this child. Uh, the Oracle of Delphi tells the king that he is fated to that his kingdom is going to end at the hands of his own son. That's how his reign was going to end. So when the child is born, Oedipus is born, King Laius says, "Kill the child." This is what he's telling to his wife. His wife cannot bring herself to kill the child, so she gives the child to a servant. The servant couldn't bring themselves to kill a child, so they went and dropped the child off with a shepherd. The shepherd raised the boy as his own son to a certain point. He meets a king of a neighboring nation, and that king is become a bit enamored with Oedipus's ability, right? Because he works with the shepherd, he feeds the nation, right? He feeds the city, and the king wants Oedipus next to him due to his tact and his hard work. And then the king brings him into his court. And when he becomes an adult, the king tells him, we're not your real parents. He goes to Delphi and he asks the oracle at Delphi who his real parents were. The oracle of Delphi told him, I cannot tell you who your parents were, for it'll hasten the curse. And the curse is that you're fated to kill your own father.
And marry your mama.
He still thinks that this other king, the king of Corinth, is still his real parents. And so they send him on a journey to find his real parents. Where does he travel to? He travels to Thebes. By this time, King Laius is an old man. And he's traveling with servants. And he was very rude to the old man, knocks him off his wagon, kills him. And because of what he learned having been a shepherd, he was able to fix one problem with Thebes, and that was a starving population, but they still had the other problem with the plague. He was able to fix the starvation, but he wasn't able to fix the plague. And then he marries the queen, who's actually his real mother. The mother doesn't know that it's actually her son. She's told by the oracle of Delphi that Oedipus is actually her son, but she keeps it a secret for lack of embarrassment. So instead, she tells Oedipus, who's now her husband and now king of Thebes, to go visit the oracle of Delphi. The oracle of Delphi says, you've already murdered your own father. Who was his father? The man he knocked off the wagon and killed. And so if that's his father and he's now sleeping with the new queen, that must mean that the queen is his mother. And if I'm not mistaken, the story ends with him throwing his mom off a cliff.
Damn.
But the whole principle behind the story is that the thing which he hates for supposedly having lied to him or kept a secret from him that she was really his mother, he began to disdain her to the point where he would even not only have committed patricide but also committed matricide. And what you listened to in matter of fact, hold on, let me think about this. Trying to think of how that story of Oedipus Rex went. If I don't think he threw her from the cliff, I think she might have poisoned him or something like that. I forget the way the ending goes, but it's a very tragic, sepulchral story.
I hear that's a mess right there.
But it mimics the same shit that's happening now. Like you're listening to dudes that are telling that you've been lied to by your mothers your whole life. Right? You've been lied to by this black woman your whole life. The black woman is your mom. She's all these things. But your mom is the object of their desire. This black woman is the object of their desire.
Mm-hmm.
You notice the fathers never come in this conversation.
No.
They are never present.
Even though history would bear me out that states that abandonment is the original sin of all social decline. Abandonment is the original sin of broken children. Because no matter whether the child was left by the father, even if the father died in the formative years of the child, or even if, as they say, the government came in paddy wagons and traded your father in for a welfare check, the thing that happens in the child is still the same phenomenon.
Mm-hmm.
The same feelings of abandonment, of unwantedness. It happens. It doesn't matter how that scenario plays out. Whether the father left, whether the father died, whether the father, the mother, even if the father and the mother cordially split, the feelings of abandonment is something that the child is absorbing this whole time, and that's that feeling of not being wanted. Even children going as far as to blaming themselves for why their parents are splitting up.
Yeah. That's really serious in the space.
And whenever they learn to stop blaming themselves, they go with an easy microwavable answer. Well, it must have been my mother's fault that she pushed my father away. The narrative cannot be that your father was just another dirtbag piece of shit who didn't want to take responsibility for his own actions. And therefore you're following in the footsteps of your father in which you don't want to take responsibility for your own actions. So none of this can be your fault. And the reason why is because they're still in that same mind space that Oedipus Rex is, instead of taking responsibility for his fucking actions. He blames his mother. For having lied to him all these years. Even though his mother didn't know who the fuck he was, because whenever she sent him away with the servant, he was an infant, he was a newborn infant. And then he grows up. Now, mind you, this is an older woman sleeping with a younger man who she doesn't even realize is her son. She has to be told by the Oracle of Delphi. And who's the Oracle of Delphi? Well, the Oracle of Delphi is really the village midwife who has all of the records of who begotten by who.
Oh.
I mean, that's really what an oracle was for the most part. Is they assisted the women with birthing the children, the village wise women. That's what an oracle is. A woman who has so much experience in these natural remedies and things like childbirthing, child rearing, because she's done it so much. She's an expert on it. And so what does she do? She helps other women go through the process of child rearing, and that figure becomes known as the midwife. So the oracle is. That's why if you look at take for instance the movie The Matrix, where they took that whole red pill blue pill idea from. What is a matrix? The matrix is a womb. Who does Neo meet inside of the matrix? Well, he meets the oracle. Neo is a newborn. He's new to the matrix. He has just woken up. He has just came out of his artificial womb to see the real world. The first place his spirit guide Morpheus takes him is to meet the oracle, the midwife. And what does she do? She gives him a cookie and tells him the things that he needs to hear. You're the one. The only difference is that in the red pill circles, the mother, and neither the mother nor the midwife is telling them that they're the one. They're not chosen. They're not. They're not able to carry on their genes to the next generation, or in some cases they are. They just can't seem to keep them, especially if they happen to look like pink and green. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because they never see, that's the thing though, right? Is like I said, they never make that healthy psychological transfer of first relating to the person who is stealing the object of their affection, i.e., mother. So learn how to relate to this person, grow up to be like them, so that way you can get your own mommy dearest to call your own. And so again, because I never get to relate to that person while, fearing them and, again, still having a little bit of hate for them, they transfer all of that onto the woman, onto the mother. So when they grow up, then they hate and have disdain for the object of their desire. And it's one thing to do that for your mother, who's got to kind of love you no matter what. But when you want to take that and now project it onto every woman that you speak to, every woman that you try to get with or whatever, she is going to reject you as not a good, suitable match for her eventually, because eventually it's going to come out. She's going to see it in the way you look at her, the way you talk to her, and the way you touch her. And that's not what she wants to grow old and die with. So she's going to go take her and her Pam Grier looks and go find herself a suitable mate, a suitable match, one who doesn't think it's blue pill simping to have borderline respect and love and a willingness to listen to and have respect for this woman's opinion, because you think she's valuable. You don't just think she is there basically to make you a sandwich and shut up.
Like, shut up, mom.
Damn it.
But not only that, I mean, it's
Mhm.
gotten so severe to where they are convinced that the only function that women serve is to tell them how great they are while possessing none whatsoever evidence of to quantify said greatness, right?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Like you think about this um, very suspicious term, right? High value male.
Mhm.
Okay.
And it's so funny that, I find that people would have a problem with the women who express their opinions about this idea that they call high value male, right?
Mhm.
When the people that are using this, again, this just goes back into that church thing.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
When you say high value male or high value black man, it makes the assumption that all men are already low value.
Mm.
And the only
Mhm.
thing that makes them valuable is if they make this certain level of money.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yep.
Now, you've heard me say it constantly that money doesn't equal power. Money
Mhm.
is a
Mhm.
tool that is used for a means to an end. Money
Mhm.
doesn't equal power. The motherfucker who told you what money is, it, that that's the motherfucker who has the power because you're buying into his idea of what money is, not one that you have completely created and decided for yourself that this was going to be the median of trade that we use. But you're going by somebody else's definition, somebody else's value that they placed on something that they created.
Mhm.
So you're a high value man, but you've created nothing of value.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Well, remember too. Here's the thing. They reduce themselves, right? Not it's not women doing this. They reduce themselves to basically raw animalistic rutting animals, right? Like they reduce themselves to that by making statements like, for example, there's no way they could value non-sexual traits in a woman. They're men, right? So all they can value is her aesthetic appearance because they're men, right? Like that's your animal brain. That is your brain unmitigated by this whole entire beautiful forebrain we have that
That is
makes you make
because
rational
that is
decisions.
that is because the imbecility of this postmodern, especially westernized male.
Mm-hmm.
His entire idea of what beauty is has been given to him.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
been given to him by uh, a media standard that, once again, the media is also a church.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You see, because the media says this is the beauty standard, and not only does it have women trying to, literally damaging their bodies, damaging themselves in order to fit this artificially created fiction to be this perfect semblance of what the standard the media has told them is the standard.
Mm-hmm.
Which in Western society we know that the standard is based on a prepubescent boy.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have the postmodern male saying that, well, if she's not a size two, like this woman in the magazine, like this woman who's, prostituting herself to the corporations to give you the semblance of this perfect image of a woman, because she's an actor.
Mm-hmm.
She's an actor that the church of mainstream media has hired to be the representation of what the beauty standard should be.
Right. Right.
And
And
so,
remember, though, that women, right? Women should start being realistic with their expectations, right? But all of them, doesn't matter how much they earn, what they look like, how much or how little motivation they have in their life, how much or how little they've accomplished in their life, how little or how much actual, future prospects they have, doesn't matter, right? They should all be able to get the exact same fictional woman that everyone's created as the standard of perfection. They should all be able to get that, right? But women should be a little bit more realistic with their expectations. And think about how amazing that is for a second. That there's an imaginary woman, right? That's perfect. She's the perfect ideal. And every man, right? If you live at home with your mama at 42, still can't hold down even a part-time retail job at McDonald's or whatever, right? Never been to school, didn't finish high school, have absolutely no desire to do anything with your future whatsoever, right? You take a bus if your mama will loan you money, because obviously you can't afford a car, insurance, none of that, or whatever, right? But this woman who is younger than that. She might have one child, but she worked really hard. She's done very well for herself, has a career. She keeps herself in reasonable shape. She's not a size 2. She's a size 8. She got curves, a little bit of meat on her, nice thighs, pretty girl and everything. Well, she should be more realistic. She should pick that guy, because otherwise she's being unrealistic, like all women. I mean, I don't know. To me, that sounds a little bit unrealistic, but you can't say that, because if I do, right, then I'm just brainwashed by feminism. It has nothing to do with being rational or reasonable as a human. No, it's feminism that lied to me and told me that women can and should have standards.
Well, why do when it comes to a woman, not just a woman, but a black woman, when it comes to a black woman expressing her quote unquote her standards, it becomes a fight to the death that she's unrealistic. She wants something that she can't have. She's better than everybody because she's in good standing. What makes her so much better? I don't understand that. But then when she goes for a guy who's like a potential guy, and then the dice rolls bad on that. Oh well, you should have chose better. What the hell is she supposed to do?
I can answer that.
The fundamental problem is that you have women who haven't had the luxury of choosing, and it's only been about 40 years they've even had the ability to choose their own mates.
Yeah, and it's really and another thing is that they tell women that they want to lower their own standards. They want tell women that their standards are unrealistic because they want them to lower their standards, so it'll be easy for them to get them, because then they don't have to work as hard to get them to do what they need to do in order to be the providers that these women would want.
Look, how raw do you want me to really keep it? Because if you want to know how raw this shit really is,
butt naked raw. Keep it that
right.
Yeah.
Naked
you want to
raw.
know how raw?
You want to know how raw
it is? Is that the ones that are running around talking about the red pill, real red pill this, red pill that? They're the real blue pill motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They're the real blue pillers. They're the ciphers. They want back in the system. They're complaining about things that only exist in the system that they claim that they want to escape, but they're telling women they should choose better. What they're really saying is women should have chose me.
Yeah.
If you remember in the movie The Matrix, Cypher, what was the object of Cypher's desire?
Trinity.
It was Trinity. Trinity was the object of Cypher's desire. And if he couldn't have Trinity, He was willing to go back in the matrix, leave the real world. What has these so-called red pill Negroes done? They are leaving the real world.
Mm.
Wow.
They actually have left the real world already.
Mm-hmm.
They are in the
Yeah.
That's true.
Twilight Zone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I remember hearing BGS saying that the red pill Negroes were one blowjob away from being blue pill. It was
Yeah.
like
One
he can,
blowjob
he
away
can,
from me. Oh wow.
as a matter of
Hey,
fact,
yo.
as a matter of fact, he got that shit wrong because as history has buried out, I'm talking about very recent history. All it took was a side boob.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm. True. I am so
True, true.
Dang.
I'm through.
Oh man.
Mm-hmm.
A caribou. Wow.
That's all it took though.
It is, yeah.
Wow. Hey, that easy. Okay.
Wow.
Good.
Happy New Year, West Coast. It is officially 2021 on the West Coast.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
I made it. We all made it, you guys.
Yes.
Proud of
Yeah.
you.
We all brought the New Year's in together. Happy New Year, all of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy New Year.
That was my goal. I am so happy. That was beautiful.
That is so
Me
cool.
too.
Why you bring
Yeah.
it together, Char, through different time zones?
Yes.
Mhm.
Go,
We
girl.
did it.
You
Beautiful. Lovely.
Right?
Why Quiet Storm up here teaching?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was beautiful. I love it.
I do too.
All it really took was some side boob.
Final
Yeah.
quote of 2020 before Divine got turned over.
See,
Right.
I thought it was bad enough to blowjob, but he said side boob. I was like, oh
The
wow,
virtual
worse than
side
it's
boob
worse
is
than what I thought it was. It was
Side
worse.
boob is real easy.
Right?
Wow. Now, I think I told you guys, I'll remind you if I didn't. Won't be streaming Friday. Enjoy your holiday. Or Saturday. Enjoy your holiday. And we'll resume next Friday.
All
okay.
right.
Yeah, get some rest. Take care and all that good stuff. Enjoy yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, you too, Sean. Hardest working woman
Yeah.
on YouTube.
It's
Smarter
Right.
than taking a weekend off.
right.
All right.
You are definitely the hardest working woman on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I would say, thanks for the invite. This is my first time actually being on the panel with Char.
Yes.
So gratitude and happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Happy New
Year.
Year, Sarilla.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Unplug. You gotta unplug from this thing, man. You
Yes,
know,
you do.
I always say that if you were an onlooker, right, and you wanted to know about the Black community, right, and you want to just look at something that represents the Black community, YouTube is the worst snapshots of the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
This is not the place you want to look for that snapshot, you know. And that's why it's important to unplug from this the actual matrix, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Much
That's the
agreed.
truth.
I agree.
Mhm.
Because this shit for real will make you crazy. Like,
Yes, it
you
will.
know, I'm hearing dudes, like with some of the craziest theories. I heard a dude saying that he had a messed up childhood because when he went to school, his white counterpart smelled like Downy, and he smelled like Bargain brand, laundry detergent.
Oh yeah.
Stop it.
Okay.
Yeah. He a nut.
I mean, I heard another group of derelict Negro males saying that Black women were responsible for all the wars in the country.
Oh, he a dangerous.
Wow.
Yeah,
They
he
were responsible for World War One, World War Two, Vietnam. I was like, damn, I had no idea black women had a hand in assassinating
I
transferring.
didn't either.
Right, yeah. I'm like, you have to explain that. You have to tell me that story. I have to hear that.
I'm gonna need
You
him
know,
to elaborate.
right? Yeah, I'm gonna need the history behind it.
Me too.
You'll never get it.
I could almost yeah. Look, I guarantee we won't get it.
True.
Right.
Very true. You'll never get it.
Yeah, that's one thing. But I'm
I
gonna
mean,
tell you.
so it's evident that this thing can make you crazy if you don't unplug from it for a while. You know, you gotta have the spurts where you unplug from the matrix. You know, and
Yeah,
you gather your bearing, recharge batteries. You know,
yeah.
and like I said, I'm contemplating even going back to making media because I'm
Mhm.
enjoying this a lot of this free time I got now. I'm
Oh,
enjoying the sleep
let's
and
see. Yeah.
you know, I'm enjoying being bored out of my mind. You know, out by myself.
Right.
I enjoy all this alone time with my thoughts. You know.
Yeah, I understand.
It's a peace of mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a purpose and goal what I'm doing on YouTube, and that's it. I'm not gonna hang around and chit chat and talk about what I don't have and who owes me what.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
You're just gonna get a Friday, Saturday show, and if you want to hear me on the radio, hey, head over there on Wednesdays. That's what I got.
That's what I'm talking about. Don't let this circus interrupt your purpose.
That's right.
Mhm.
And I am going to end on that, ladies and gents.
Oh,
And I will see you all next Friday. Get some rest, be safe, social distance. And until then, peace.
Cheers,
peace.
y'all.
All right. See y'all
Yeah.
later.
Good, everybody.
And so